Well, and welcome back to Sky Tour live stream. It's so good to have you guys all back here. Um, the chat's filling up. People are coming on in. This is great. The telescope is performing better than it did before, so I'm really pleased. And I figured, why not start off with a bang? Let's start off with the Andromeda Galaxy, right? So everything's still the same. We're actually experimenting with some new ways to present all of this to you. But before we go any further, I have to mention, if you notice who just said hi in the chat, is Marianne Robb. Now, Marianne is really a prime mover and shaker with SkyTour Livestream. That lady has made more happen with this observatory than anyone else. I mean, I'm just the big mouth. She's the brawn and the strategy behind it. So I just want to tell you to send some love to this lady, because she actually made sure with Tara Diulis today and Tara's husband Dale, they went out to the observatory today and reinstalled this telescope after going all the way to Tucson to pick it up where it was being rehabbed for maintenance. So I'm telling you, we're very, very happy. So show her some love. All right. So this is really good. So I want to welcome you guys all back. And this is the start, hopefully, of a phenomenal winter set of months. And I wanted to share with you that today we settled on the second set of telescope architecture that's going to be right next to this one in the building. We're going to have two telescopes. I mean, I can't let the web get all the credit here. We got to now just start doing our own thing, right? And really, really make it look good. So it's good to see you guys. I will talk to you in just a moment. I want to set up this shot here. We have wind, by the way, out in the desert today. It's like 23 miles an hour. So the Andromeda Galaxy, if you look where the telescope is pointing, it's pointing out in the back of the dome, or back to the building. And it's kind of got itself into the wind stream a little bit. So you might notice the stars waver a little, but we'll try to get some shots. We'll try to do this. I'm really happy that this is happening tonight. You can't understand how much I've missed this telescope. Maybe that seats it pretty well, makes it pretty obvious. But anyway, I'm really pleased. Again, show Marianne some love. She is really gone all out, and so has Tara Diulis, the artist who did our door for the observatory, and she's also amazing. And her husband Dale. Dale was sitting there taking pictures and taking care of all these things, helping to make sure the telescope was mounted correctly. There's one small little detail. I have to do another realignment of the telescope when I get out there, because all the objects are consistently just out of frame above. But it's okay, because that's just a matter of doing a proper, what's called a polar alignment. I'm okay with that. I'm okay, because it means that we're doing okay with what we have. This thing was all the way across the sky. You see where the telescope's pointing, and it was pointing at somewhere else down here. And again, if it's consistently wrong a little tiny bit, that's acceptable. We can fix that. So why don't we just do our time-honored tradition of doing a time exposure of the Andromeda Galaxy. This is the live view of it. You'll see Starlink satellites probably going through at this high northern latitude. It might not, because we're looking way toward the north. Remember, north is that way in the building as you see it, and south is this way, okay? And west is that way, and east is that way, okay? So the telescope's looking northeast right now. Oh, what a beautiful sight. It's so nice to see this again. All right. Well, as before, as a reminder, remember this is the telescope control section right here. Okay, let me show you. Okay, here's the telescope control over here. This is the telescope in the building. This is our computer telescope system that's doing the guiding. This is yours truly. Hello. Okay, this is this right below me here. This here is skytourlive.com. This is our portal. This is how you get to all this. Okay, you can go to YouTube and go to the channel. Okay, SkyTour Livestream with Marc D'Antonio, but you don't have to. Okay, and by the way, Daryl couldn't be with us tonight. Daryl wasn't feeling well tonight. So I didn't ask him to even come on tonight, because he might have felt obligated to do it or something. But you know what? The guy needs a night off. He deserves it. So let's do this. Let's come over here. Now this here, if you remember, this is the camera control system. Yeah, Marianne says there were some really weird things that happened while heading out to the observatory property. Yes, there were. And yeah. And Marianne says you guys are all welcome. Tara and I are excited to be part of this project. Yeah, Marianne has always said that, So she's always said that, I give her a hard time sometimes, and she yells at me sometimes. Like she yelled at me today. I deserved it. I was being a little bit of a dumb guy, a dumbass. But it happens once in a while. She didn't pull out the taser, but that's because I'm 2,500 miles away. But I will be out there in a couple weeks because I got to teach in the desert, teach astronomy. I could probably stream, though, from the office out there. I could probably do that. I think that's correct. Marianne will tell me. Marianne, did you want to relay to anything that happened out there today? In terms of the... Actually, if you're on Skype, I can bring you right in. So let me know if you want to come in on Skype, and I'll just bring you on with us. Meanwhile, I'm going to set up an exposure here while she's figuring out if she actually wants to do that. And we'll do, we'll say a 25-second exposure of the Andromeda Galaxy. Alright? And it's, I did some shots of the Helix Nebula earlier tonight, and it's already up there on the database. So you can see those as well. And I have to say, they're beautiful. They look fantastic. So while we're getting these exposures coming in, I do want to say hi to, of course, Mary Kotnitsky, who's here. Hi, Mary. Welcome back. Thank you for the welcome back. Asher Rial is with us. That's wonderful. And then we have Renee Cruz. Hi, Renee. Judy McClellan's with us. Papa Tom. What's up, Papa Tom? Uberku's with us. Volkish Freilein, how are you? Michael Galea, what's going on, brother? Good to see you. And we have also Jane Murdoch. Hey, Jane, how you doing? That's pretty cool. Yes, Marianne, go to Skype, and you'll be able to come on. And let me know. I'll give you a call from Skype. All right, and let's see. CND boy, what's up, brother? Good to see you. It's like I just haven't seen you. Guys are family. I haven't seen you in a while. And Cosmic Ray says, Heidi ho, Stargazers. Hi there, Cosmic Ray. How are you? Good to see you. And let's see. Michael Klagus is with us. Good to see you. Simon Thompson. Hello. Izabela. Hey. Welcome back, Izabela. Welcome back. All right. And let's see if I can bring out this nebula here. Oh, that's the wrong one. Sorry. Yeah, it's better. Okay. And we're going to do this. There we go. Welcome back to Skytour Livestream. Look at that, guys. The Andromeda Galaxy. I have to try and make it smaller so it'll fit in here. Let's go to 25%. Wow, look at that. Oh, man. Tell you what, let's do something even better than that. While this is coming in, why don't we do this? Let's let me bring this back up here. Okay, we'll go to 66%. Look at the quality. Oh, this is stunning. Wow. This galaxy is just over 2 million light years away, so you're seeing it as it was 2 million years ago. And in that 2 million years, it's actually inched a little bit closer to us. It's pretty cool. Hey there, Bullwinkle. What's going on? Tim F. Woohoo! Good to see you, brother. Yeah. Yeah, we are happy to be back. We are happy to be back. Oh, yeah. As I mentioned, Daryl has a night off because he's not feeling well. So, all right. And let's do this. Wow. I like this. Let me do this over here. Get rid of that. There we are. Now we've got the galaxy. Look at that, right? Look at this galaxy. Oh, man, That's really pretty. You'll notice the detail up here. Let me zoom in because we've taken 5 stacked frames so far, so some of the noise is gone already. But we zoom into this corner of the galaxy, you'll notice here's a nebula right here in the galaxy. This is a nebula 2 million light years away. And this is a set of stars that are hot and young. These are called OB, the O and B stars, hot O stars and B stars too. And they're called OB associations. And there's a nebula in here. You can see it. And as we drop down, we can see other hot young star clusters and OB associations, and we see other nebulae inside the Andromeda Galaxy. Really, really beautiful. Wow. Outstanding. You know? And of course, we see the satellite galaxies here, which are satellite galaxies that are orbiting Messier 31, which is what we're looking at right here. The Andromeda Galaxy. Now let's just zoom out a little bit. Bring it back and let it come in. Oh, look at that. Oh. I think it's beautiful how we can take images like this and just let them come in and watch them develop before our eyes. That is just so cool. That is just so cool. And let's do a color balance here. There we go. A little color balancing there, so we get the stars of their proper yellow color for the stars that are in the disk population, and the outer disk population has these beautiful blue segments, these beautiful blue stars. Wow. And this is only 9 stacked images. Okay, so let's go see now if we can get and bring Marianne on with us. I will do this here, this now. And then she can tell you. Okay. You gotta be here somewhere. I'm looking for her while we're waiting for this to come in, so we're fine. Okay. Okay, we're gonna try this ID for you, Marianne, to see if this makes a difference. I'm hoping it will be you. Let's find out. If it's not, hoops. Okay, folks, let's give her a call. You'll hear this. Uh-oh.
Hey, Mark, can you hear me?
Yeah, turn down your YouTube volume. That's why.
Okay, how's that?
That's good. That's good. Hi, Marianne. Oh.
Let's see if this works.
All right, we're just waiting for Marianne to get her act together with Skype.
How's that?
I'm able to hear you just fine. This is good. Are you there? Oh, she's hearing a delay probably.
I am, but I am not getting you through my computer. I'm hearing you on my phone, but not the computer.
Oh, you're on the phone. Well, you don't want to hear through the computer because you're running Skype on your phone, right? Delay. She's getting delayed.
Actually, no, I'm on my computer running Skype.
Well, you want to... Okay. I'm not going to make you mess up your iDetective settings. So, if you go to your phone, see, every time I ask you a question, there's like 5 to 8 seconds and then you answer. So you're hearing it delayed. So on your phone, you should hear me instantly. But are you able to? Now Papa Tom says, hang up your phone. But if you hang up your phone, you might be able to hear me, but you're not hearing me through your earphones on your computer. Is that correct? Now we have to wait for her. Yeah, see?
Hey, Mark, if you can hear me, how about I'm going to go ahead and hang up on you on my computer, and let's try that again. And I'm going to come on my phone.
Okay. Fair enough. Thank you, Izabela, for putting the server link up there. That's very nice of you. Thank you very much. Look at the galaxy is coming up so beautiful. All right. I think I'm probably going to have to call her back now, so bear with me in the noise. Oh, well, it didn't answer, so I think she probably... I'll try it again. The galaxy's coming up beautiful. That is stunning.
Okay.
Are you there?
There, can you hear me now?
I hear you fine. Can you hear me okay? Why is there such a delay now? Yeah,
I don't know. I apologize. How is that?
Well, I'm talking and there's a delay before you actually answer my questions. Can you hear me?
I can.
Oh, that was pretty that was pretty quick. So everything's okay? You hear me okay now?
I sure can. I'm sorry. I could not get you on my computer.
That's okay, but you could watch the computer. You can see the computer screen and just leave it muted and talk to me on the phone.
Okay, perfect. I can do that.
There you go. Yeah. So, I didn't know if you wanted to tell anybody about the adventures in the observatory today.
Oh my goodness gracious, where do I start?
Start at the beginning, and when you reach the end, you're done.
Okay. Well, let me tell you, the beginning was we got out to the property, and we were unable to get into the property. So we kept trying the code, wouldn't work. We drove down a dirt road for about mile and a half, and it was almost a four-wheeling type drive. And we got to the person who is the caretaker of all the property. Great guy. Him and his wife were just amazing.
Yes, they're very nice.
Yeah, and they decided to take us on a tour of their house and their property that has horses, goats, cows,
Ooh.
peacocks, chickens.
Oh, that's turkeys. You had turkeys.
Turkeys. I'll tell you right now, turkeys. We got to even pet a turkey. That was the craziest thing.
No way.
Oh, it was. Tara and I have never petted a turkey's head, and it was crazy. They let you pet them and everything else.
Oh, wow.
We played for about 15, 20 minutes with all these animals. And folks, let me tell you, Marc was going crazy because we're playing with the pets, and he wanted us to go out and get the observatory or get the telescope up and going. So I
wasn't that bad.
Oh, yes, it was.
You got to understand, guys, I was without a telescope for, 2 weeks, 3 weeks?
Oh, yeah.
And I was so on edge whether it was going to be working right. I watched them take it apart. They did everything right to take it apart, to take it out down to the place in Tucson to get the problem that we had fixed. The problem, it turns out, was a lightning strike. So we have to work on putting in a ground spike and a bus bar inside the building to make sure that none of the instrumentation in there can get damaged by lightning again. So that's something that has to happen sooner rather than later. But I was without it for 3 weeks, so you can imagine, what's an astronomer do when he has this beautiful sky. And I was my own worst enemy. I kept going into the weather. I kept going into my all-sky cam and seeing the beautiful Milky Way, and I was like, I can't see that tonight. So
Folks, let me tell you, he was biting at the bit. He kept sending us messages. Is it done? Is it done? Is it done?
No. I did not say that.
No, you wrote.
I asked. I was watching on the security cameras. I was watching everything you were doing, but I didn't say, "Is it done? Is it done?" It's like, when are we going to be there? I didn't do that to you. Did I?
Now, I can't see. I apologize. I cannot see any questions in chat. So if anybody says anything, holler at me. I'm kind of watching you on my big screen right now and sitting in my chair talking to you.
Oh, you can't see the chat?
I can't. I don't want to lose Skype. I mean, if I lose Skype, hang tight. I'm going to try to get to chat right now. I'm not very good at all of this. Let me see if I can do that real fast.
Well, after telling everybody what I said, if it hangs up, I'm not calling you back.
Wait a minute. Well, folks, I'll tell you exactly. It's not coming in right now. So
that's okay.
I'm just going to go ahead if anything comes up. But
I'm watching. I don't see. I mean, people are laughing, and Fantasy says, "Is this Marianne?" Yes, this is Marianne Robb. She's one of the happy triple triumvirate here that we are. There's me, there's Marianne, and there's Tara. And Marianne is mover and shaker. She's really, I have to say, the primary person that made SkyTour livestream happen. Without her, it wouldn't be here. It wouldn't be here. And not like this, I can tell you that. Not like what you're seeing on the screen right now. Seeing a galaxy 2 million light years away. I wish I could rename the galaxy. We should call it the Marianne's Galaxy or something, because it really is stunning. Thanks to her.
Appreciate that. But let me tell you about the galaxy, guys. And I know Marc has told you guys, excuse me, this before. But if you go on skytourlive.com, with the help of Izabela and her doing the processing, Marc has all of these beautiful, amazing nebulas and the galaxies and everything. You can get those prints. It's called Dark Sky, and you can order these prints, anything you want that he has on the website, and they are crazy amazing. I have 10 of them now up in my art room. That are framed canvas. And guys, I can't explain how brilliant they are on this canvas. It is amazing. If you guys ever get a chance, that's what you see on the screen right now, is basically what you're going to get on a print.
Actually, it's even better than the print because, like, for instance, right now on the screen, you see the background sky is kind of got that lightness to it, but what's actually on the print is something that's going to be a little more like this, where it's going to actually have a more black background and be really, really stunning against that. And that's how they come out. And I mean, look at this. Look at that beautiful blue cluster of stars down here. This is a spiral arm full of hot blue young stars that are going to all go supernova and create more dust in here eventually. And much of that dust is what you see from previous supernovae that have gone off right there. Much of that dust was created at that time. So it's just beautiful.
That is fantastic. So to get back to what happened today.
Yeah.
Well, kind of back up a little bit. Tara and her husband Dale and I went out. I guess, like you said, about 3 weeks ago. We took the telescope. We tried to do some work on the telescope to get it working again. It did not work. So we literally took it apart, put it in a box, boxed it up, drove another about 2.5 hours to Tucson, and dropped it off at Star Arizona, which is anybody in Arizona, you need any telescopes fixed or any parts. These guys are absolutely amazing.
Yeah, talk to Dean Koenig at Star Arizona. They supported us. They fixed our problems we've had along the way, and with this lightning strike, they troubleshot the main motherboard of the telescope, and figured out that the main motherboard of the telescope had been blasted by a lightning strike. And they hunted down and found another motherboard in the country, and installed it. And the telescope was repaired in about like a week's time. Now, compare that to what the company itself, if I had to go to the company to get this repaired, what they would have done. They would have told me you have to ship it to Irvine, California. Then from there, it has to get shipped to Mexico. And in Mexico, it would be repaired in some months and then come back and then be shipped from Irvine again to me. Not going to happen, okay? That's just I was beside myself with that. It was like, no way, you know? Michael Klages says something very important. Make sure you're watching in 1080p, guys. Go to your settings in YouTube and set that to 1080p, will you? That's right what we gotta do, because otherwise you're not gonna see these details. Like when we zoom in on this over here, if we zoom in on this beautiful OB association, look at that.
And
right.
Let me tell you, it's pretty darn cool on a 65-inch.
Oh, you
TV
seen that?
Too.
Oh, well, let's take you on a journey through the Andromeda Galaxy. Just keep going.
Man, that's amazing. That's amazing.
Well, you'll see pixelation. Yep.
Tara, unfortunately, I was kind of on an elk hunt last week. So Tara was so wonderful to go down to Tucson and pick up the telescope. That was fixed by Starzona.
Yep.
And she brought it back to her house on Friday. And we all went out this morning, of course, to reinstall the telescope. Well, not only did we have a fun time at the zoo with the handyman getting a clicker so we can get into the property to get to the observatory, but as we were driving in the desert out in the middle of nowhere, we drove up, we saw a pickup truck sitting there with some kind of flashing lights on. We're like, oh, that must be a police officer, whatever. It's no big deal. And there's a body. I don't know how to say this nicely, but there's a body laying in the desert. And we're like, And as you know, being a police officer, I'm like, what is that? And I'm looking at it going, is that real or is that a mannequin? We assumed, being that white truck with the flashing lights on, that this could be a training session for search and rescue, for the sheriff's department out here, whatever. So we looked at it and we went, wow, that's interesting, because it's right there 4 feet from us. And we thought, okay, they're training, we better go. And we continue to go. But it just was interesting. That's all I could say. I don't know how else to explain it. We finished the telescope 5 hours later. We're leaving the area, and now where that area is, where the body was, it's now taped, police tape all around it. We have sheriff's deputies.
Crime scene.
I'm sorry?
Crime scene.
Crime scene tape around.
Yeah.
And there's sheriff's deputies. So Dale gets out of the truck, because this is the only way we know how to get out of the desert. This one road. We don't know any other way to get out. So he goes over and he talks to the sheriff's deputies. Well, guess what, guys? It was a real body. There's a crime scene there. And we don't know anything more, but it was wild that you hear about these things that happen. But I've never seen, all my 34 years as a police officer, I've never walked up onto a body in a desert like you hear about.
Well, you didn't work in the desert.
Huh?
You didn't work in the desert. If you did, you probably would have seen them really often.
I guess so, but
Right.
It was the craziest thing, and of all things to come up on as we're putting a telescope in, Tara and Dale in the past have found a dog running loose, and they've rescued a dog in the desert. Astro, which was I took care of Astro for a while, and then
Fostered
found it a
it,
wonderful home.
Yeah.
But to find this and see this in the desert, oh my goodness gracious, that was an experience. So we had a real interesting experience putting that telescope back together.
Yeah, it sure seemed it, you know. And I wasn't there to see it, which was okay. I had no problem with that. But thank you, and that was a good summary too. I didn't get to see the petting zoo, But I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Hey, Mark, I got a question.
Hmm?
Where the Andromeda Galaxy is, what's up to the upper right side?
That other fuzzy?
Another galaxy or something?
Yes, that's called a satellite galaxy. Okay. This is M31. This is M32, and this is M110, I believe. And these are the satellite galaxies. Now, if we go to Stellarium here for a minute, and we center up on this and zoom in, you can see, okay, these galaxies. All right. So we have Messier 32 here and Messier 110, as I mentioned, and then Messier 31. So that's the beautiful Andromeda Galaxy with its satellite galaxies, you know. And one thing that we haven't taken a picture of yet this year is the Triangulum Galaxy down here, and I'm wondering if we can get it right now. I'm rushing things, you know. I want to be able to capture them, you know. So, okay, let me respond to a request from chat. Okay, so now, one of the things that I think we want to do is, first of all, I have to say hi to James Dugan. I did say hi in the chat, and of course, Hedrick. Hey, what's going on, man? Hedrick is with us tonight. Nice to see you. And I will now do exactly what I said, which was what? What did I say I was going to do? Yes. Try Messier 33 in Triangulum. Okay. All right, so I saved this. This has 50 exposures. So we did a stack of 50 shots in here. So you can see when we look at it up close, 50 shots makes a really smooth, really noise-free image, and this is going to make a gorgeous photo. Beautiful photo, yeah. All right. So let's now come out of the full screen here, bring back the telescope view right there. All right, and I'm going to get out of the live stacking because we're no longer in requirement of the live stack. And I will now take us back to our 1 second shot and maximize the view. This is what it looks like with 1 second, see? Like that, here we go. That's Messier 110, and that's Messier 32 right there. And of course, Messier 31. Ah, you see that move right there? That was the wind blowing the telescope. So we actually lucked out because our whole exposure didn't have any of the wind in it, and then that one last. I'm not moving the telescope. It did that from the wind. I think that's funny. Incidentally, Marianne, Tara told me today that she did forget to do something in the building today.
Yeah, she told me that too.
She forgot to turn the screen off on the computer.
Yeah, we can always head back out if we need to.
You don't, because look where the telescope's pointing. Okay, and if I have the building in the way, that's not good anyway. And so we want to start over, and we'd see a bright image.
Building in the way, that's not good.
Uh-oh, you turned up your volume.
I apologize about that.
That's okay. Yeah, see the wind's blowing there. Okay, so let's go here, and let's see if we can just drive ourselves down to it. I think we got to go a little bit east, so I'm going to go and, well, first things first, I'm going to get our computer back, and we're going to say, now we're going to go and say we'll go to a speed of 7, which is 1.5 degrees per second. And now we're going to go south a little bit. Okay, and if you look in Stellarium there, you can see our telescope is moving a little bit south. Okay. All right, and then I'll move a little bit more south. And then we're just going to run to the east a little bit. And let's see how much or how little of the Triangulum Galaxy we can see when we go east. You can see the telescope is moving down a little bit, and You know, if we luck out, we may not have the building in the way. Because we are trying to reach for something that's not as high. And that's okay. Oh, we're almost there. So if I go south a little more, we should find it. I could have just told to go there and do it, but I was just having some fun. So we come back here, and let me zoom us out a little bit more. Actually, we're all pretty much where we need to be. All right, now let's do this here. Here it is. There is our. There it was. Okay, well, I can bring it back. There it is. Okay. Yeah, and now we'll change our speed of motion here, bring it down to 16 times guiding speed, which is a very, very small amount of motion. And now we're going to move the telescope south to center up our amazing galaxy here. Okay, we'll just do this. All right, and it'll center it up. And we'll check our focus as well. So you had fun today then, Marianne?
Sure. Well, we were having fun until we figured out things were real. And then we were kind of a little, well, I got to say, it didn't affect me. I mean, unfortunately, I've seen quite a few incidences, let's just put it that way.
Yeah.
But Tara and Dale were asking a lot of questions, and it was definitely a shocker to find to have something like that. So, been watching the news. Haven't seen anything on the news yet about this.
Okay. So, well, maybe it's maybe it was an undocumented migrant, right?
No. Definitely white, female, and nothing like that whatsoever.
Okay.
That was the interesting one.
Well, she was wearing a black hoodie with were they red pants or orange pants? It looked like I couldn't really tell in the color.
I think they were bright orange, bright red.
Okay.
And shoeless.
And she looked barefoot to me.
Yeah. So there was interest. It's interesting. It'll be interesting to see if anything comes up on the news on that.
Yeah, I agree with that. All right, 25 seconds on Mesher 33. We are guiding successfully over here, as you can see right here. And there is some wind, but I'm just going to give it a shot anyway. Look, see the wind just did that? Yeah, it may not come out well, but let's try it.
Yeah, we've got some pretty good wind here. Luckily, I'm real happy that the clouds went away. It's snowed up north Arizona.
Oh, yeah.
And we had about 12, 14 mile an hour gusts.
Yeah, that's neat. I mean, at the observatory, the telescope can handle about 8 to 10. But when we get above 10, if we get to 11 or 12, okay, see how the stars are elongated. But look at the beautiful galaxy. This is stunning. Okay, so I hate to do this to you, but I'm going to clear it because we want to get some clear ones and sharp stars. And this galaxy has a lot of H2 regions, which are the regions that have the okay, this is a little bit off. Like for instance, this is the hydrogen regions here where there's a lot of emission going on in there. There's some red here. You can see some beautiful red streaks here. There's a bluish green supernova remnant here. There's one here. There's one actually down here. This is the most prominent H2 region in the entire galaxy, and it's got a large loop around it, which you can just barely see there. Large hydrogen emission region here, one here. Hot blue stars here. Now that I've said that, I'm going to clear it and make sure that we can get a nice sharp shot, because I want to show you. But it's okay. If we don't, we don't. And that one's certainly not one of them. So we'll wait for it to get better. But Yeah, so it's neat. All right, Hedrick, I think it was Hedrick had a question. Hedrick says, can you talk about how many Andromeda distances away other galaxies are? Oh, that's a really cool question, Hedrick. Thank you. I might as well, right? Well, okay. The Andromeda Galaxy is 2 million light years away, right? Now, when we look at the Virgo cluster, we're seeing, Messier 87, which is like, was it 55 million light years away? So you divide 55 or 50 by 2, that's 25. So it's roughly 25 Andromeda distances away from us, from here to there. So that's, for instance, quite far away. Some galaxies are hundreds, if not thousands, many thousands of Andromeda distances away. We see galaxies that are like 10 billion light years away. That's billion, as in B as in beta, billion. That's a huge, huge distance, So I guess that's a really good way to look at it, too, is in terms of Andromeda distances. Now, this one we're looking at here, this is the Triangulum Galaxy. I'm just keep clearing it to try and get a clear shot, that's all, without wind. But this particular one, Messier 33, this one is, it's just a little bit further than the Andromeda Galaxy. And in fact, here we go. This is a nice shot. Okay, let's hope that the rest work out as well. And so this one is like 2.6 or 2.7 million light years away. The Andromeda is like 2.2, 2.3 million light years away. So it's only slightly farther away. But they're definitely near each other in space. Remember, if we go and look at this, here is where the Triangulum Galaxy is, and here's where Andromeda is. Now, that separation between them is just, a few tens of light years, okay? But the bottom line is that means that we're looking at a galaxy that is probably gravitationally being influenced by Andromeda for sure, like we are. We are too, So that's pretty cool. I'm going to add one little addition. And jump in wherever you want, Marianne. Don't let me just talk over everything.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Sure.
There.
Will.
I sharpened everything. See how much sharper the galaxy looks now?
It looks cool.
Yeah. It's really pretty. Now, this galaxy is an SC. S for spiral and C being loosely aggregated spiral arms. So you see that they're kind of loosely wound. In fact, they look kind of unwound out here. Well, that's what this type of galaxy is. There's many like this out there. SCs. The Andromeda Galaxy is an SB galaxy. The arms are much more tightly wound. Then an SA galaxy, they're really, really, really tightly wound. And how it happens is, it's up for debate, but people talk about how galaxies interact and how spiral arms are made. And it's really kind of a fascinating topic, Thanks, Asher. That's really kind. He says, make sure to like the stream. Thank you. That's very kind. Yeah, we really are so happy to be back. Yeah, please do give that thumbs up, will you? I never imagined in my wildest dreams that I would say, please hit the thumbs up. I mean, what's that mean, hit the thumbs up? We've created a whole new language with social media and the internet.
So, Mark, on that, the thumbs up deal, that basically looks like you're kind of freezing on my thing, but the thumbs up, does the social media, YouTube, do they really look at that? I mean, is that something that helps live stream?
Yes.
How does that work?
It does. I wish I could say I was a YouTube guru, but I'm not. But if you hit the thumbs up, then it sets in motion a trend which gets you noticed on certain pages. And Fantasy says it. A thumbs up means people will be more likely to see it in the chat recommendations. So, and so they'll get recommendations when they go to YouTube as well and do searches. And you know how they have recommended videos. This one might become a recommended video.
That's awesome. Thank you, Fantasy, and Asher. Thank you so much. I never knew it. I mean, of course, I always do thumbs up, but that's so cool.
Yeah.
That helps out tremendously. I'd like to say hi to everybody in chat. I finally got on where I can see
good.
chat.
Nice.
Vaughn's on. Hey, how are you? And everybody is so cool to see you guys, and it's so neat to be able to verbally say hi to everybody instead of trying to type. So it's so cool.
Oh, I'm glad you did that. And Alice Pooper says algorithms as well. And that's true. Algorithms do that. I know I'm blocking the Galaxy with the ID, but I just wanted to put there. I'll pull it off now, just so you don't have to deal with it. Come here. Sorry, I missed it. There we go. Okay, look at this. This is coming out really pretty. There's a little bit of motion you can see in the stars, but you can see this beautiful complex core with these other details in here. It's just stunning. Just stunning. We back out a little more. You'll see it even better. So we looked at Messier 31 and Messier 33. And Messier 33 is also known as the Triangulum Galaxy. Just briefly again, all right? And that's because it's in the constellation of, you guessed it, Triangulum. And that's something that is, it's a small constellation near the Andromeda constellation. And of course, the Andromeda Galaxy is called that because it's in Andromeda. Yeah, okay. Okay, we've stacked 13 of these. I guess we should probably not push our luck. We'll save it here. So we're saving the astronomical fits file. And then we're going to save it exactly as seen. And then I'm going to clear it. All right, because now it's been saved. What that means when you say it's saved is it's actually going now to our online database. You can get to the online portal either if Izabela gives us the link, or if you go to our skytourlive.com and you scroll down and it says take me to all the photographs, it'll take you right to the directory where you can go zipping through and check out all these objects. And thanks to Robin Curtis, who was here in the chat earlier, she created a database of every single observation SkyTour has ever done in the last year. We have over 800 observations and objects that we've taken pictures of, some of them copies. And those objects are now in a database, and we're building a front end to that database so that you can actually go searching for all instances of, say, the Triangulum Galaxy. Hey, I want to see every picture you ever took of the Triangulum Galaxy. And then you could actually take them down for yourself. And the nice thing is, when you look in galaxies and you start comparing the images, you might see subtle changes. Especially year to year, you might see subtle changes. You might see a star that's a little brighter than others. And say, whoa, that's weird. You might have found something, and you might actually be able to find actual astronomical discoveries on your own. And that's something that we also like to try and do. Okay? It's just like when we were photographing the lunar eclipse I've talked about many times. And we were one of 5 people on the planet to capture a meteor hitting the moon at the height of the lunar eclipse. When the moon is red, a meteor struck the moon. Pow! And we caught it. It's in our stream. You can go look it up.
Yep. I've got pictures all over my house with that. That is just
the
most amazing photo.
Yeah.
Hey, Izabela, thank you so much for putting that stream on, or not the stream, but
link.
The website up for SkyTour Live.
Yeah, thank you, cool. Izabela. Yep. Now, SkyTour live stream is also 501c3 soon. We actually started to, we did all that paperwork, and it sits with the IRS now, I believe. Is that correct?
It does. Let me tell you, I did a happy dance the other day when I got the information that it has gone to the IRS. Oh, my goodness gracious.
That's good.
That's a venture in itself, and we did it. So our last leg, we are on the last leg of getting that up and going, so I'm excited about that.
Yeah. Me too. Me too. Well, I want to thank you because you're the one that did all that. Now, the reason we did that, guys, is because that allows us to get foundations and other organizations that might be able to supply us with potential support in some way, and bring them on board, like a foundation or a fund or something like that, a university that wants to do that, a company that wants to donate to us. And what we do in return is we will do streams for them. We will actually put their names in and make them, a sponsor for us. That's everything we're trying to do. And, hopefully that'll happen, But if it doesn't, guess what? I'm still going to be here. I'm still going to be doing this. And Marianne's still going to be part of it. Daryl's still going to be part of it.
Oh,
I see.
It's going to explode. It's going to be great. And it's all a tax write-off. That's the cool part.
Yeah, it is, actually.
That is so fantastic.
Yeah.
And I've got an idea that I would like to do in another area of Arizona that is a very, very dark sky. So that's kind of a little plan I'm thinking of, and we haven't talked about it yet, but the area of Williams, Arizona.
Well, we have to look at the weather and see what the weather does up there. The most important aspect is the weather. Now, I looked at another area in Arizona, Dewey-Humboldt, and it's very, very dark there, and it could be far enough from the Phoenix Light Dome. It's 66 miles, actually, from the Light Dome of Phoenix. Now, when I was in Gillette, Wyoming, I went out to Hewlett, Wyoming, to Devil's Tower, and I spent a lot of time at Devil's Tower, and at night, I could see the lights of Gillette 80 miles away. So I know that if the southern sky from Dewey-Humboldt is going to see lights of Phoenix 66 miles away. So our southern sky might not be the best from Dewey-Humboldt. Williams, maybe. I'd actually have to go there and check it and do a whole sky assessment, and all that. Oh, well, I guess I have to go to Williams, Arizona.
Where I'm looking at, I'm not kidding, while I was there, you talk about pitch dark. It's one of those where in some areas you cannot see your hand in front of your face, and the sky was just absolutely brilliant. And my idea was to put a telescope up there, which would be absolutely amazing.
Yeah. And Asher says, I want to see Marc control the James Webb. Get huge, Sky Tour. I would love to have some time on the James Webb, but you got to understand that there's a 13-second turnaround time for the systems on the James Webb. When you send a control, say you hit a control, boom, to move it, you got to wait, 11, 12, 13 seconds for the response to get there, and then another 11 seconds for it to come back saying, okay, we understand. So everything with large outer space telescopes like that, especially those that are 1 million miles away from us, like the James Webb, they move at the speed of slow. And I would just be like, I want to also say hi, by the way, to DPFX 9999 and Anahata77. Hi, Bonnie. Welcome back. It's good to see you. Hey, Daryl's here.
What we have, Daryl.
I knew he wasn't going to stay away. I told everybody, Daryl, that you weren't feeling well tonight. I didn't even bother to tell you we were doing this because you said you slept most of the day, so I was giving you a break. But, here we are. Michael Klages says, Go ahead.
I could not beat Daryl. I cannot. I bow down to Daryl. I feel very honored to be here tonight. But Daryl is my hero, and he's amazing. I can't wait to have him back on the show next.
Well, you know what? You should invite Daryl out to Arizona.
Heck yes, 100%.
All right. So, Daryl, you have a place to stay when you go to Arizona.
Oh, heck yeah.
Stay with Marianne, hang out, It has a pool. Great dog. Okay, we're going to clear this because we got a good one before this. And I'll get rid of that. Let me just bring it back to get rid of it. Okay. I'm multitasking. I'm doing 1,000 things at once. And so that's what happens here. And now, and let's go up. And there you go. So there's Mesher 33 in our night vision mode. Remember SkyTourLive.com. That's the portal to all of this stuff. And please enjoy that. Okay.
Quick
yeah.
question. One
Sure.
of the most brilliant objects in the sky was the okay, I knew I was going to forget it as soon as I said it. The keep going. I'm going to remember it.
Jupiter?
Cassiopeia. It was so brilliant up there in Williams. Is there a way we can see any of that, or is that not able to be seen through the telescope?
Well, if you look where we are, we're right here, okay? And here's Cassiopeia. The W, that's what you're talking about? The W of Cassiopeia?
I love that, yes. Yeah, there it is right there, yes.
Yeah, we can see Cassiopeia. In fact, let's zoom in a little in here. And let's see if we can go to this nebula right here. It's called the Pacman Nebula. And that's in Cassiopeia. So we're going to tell it to go there now and see what we get. Off we go. Alright, and the telescope is now moving. You can see it moving up toward the back there. It's heading out toward the northeast, which is where Cassiopeia is, and it's going to get one of the main stars of Cassiopeia in there. And then it's going to center it up, and then it's going to take us to it's going to do, looks like it's doing Archer, the star Archer, and then it's going to drop down to the Pacman Nebula.
I'm holding my breath every time I see that telescope move. I mean, that was I got to say, folks, let me tell you, I couldn't even fathom this. I am in Arizona. I have this telescope. We're touching it. Marc is 2,500 miles away, and he's making that move. We're not. We're just right there next to it, and he's making it move 2,500 miles away. It blows my mind.
It is a very interesting process, isn't it? It makes you crazy thinking about it. But here's our Cassiopeia Milky Way, and we just have to head up just a tiny bit, I believe. I'll fix that once I get out there. We'll see the nebula in here, I believe, as I move up here. All right, I don't see it, so I think I might have missed it. Oh, we're way down here. How'd that happen? Oh, was I going the wrong way? Ugh. Sorry, guys. Yeah, I forgot. The telescope's upside down, so I have to do this. Okay. Alrighty. My mistake. I'm not worried about it. It's fine.
Marc, it'd be great. I think you either made that comment or asked about that, doing a live stream from the actual observatory when you're out here the beginning of November. That would be really cool if we can do that.
Yeah, I mean, I was thinking.
You said we might be able to.
Well, I was thinking of actually doing the stream from the office there.
Oh, okay, from here, not out at the observatory. I think that'd be great.
Well, I might try doing it from the observatory as well. That's a possibility, strong possibility.
Oh,
Okay.
if we can do that, especially with Starlink, that would be awesome.
Yeah, yeah. I also want to. I have to see when we put the second system in there. So here's the thing. Okay, this is our field of view that you guys know. This is 4 full moons across, 3 full moons tall. The next system that goes in is going to have a view that is only going to be like this. Okay, it's going to be a very, very tight view, very highly magnified. And so it's going to be really, really nice. And that system is going to be just about the same size, actually a little bigger than what we have, but it's not going to have the faster speed. In other words, I think it's going to be f6.3. This is f2, so fast, but not as fast. But we're making up for it with an extra inch of aperture, an 11-inch telescope. You can see the wind blowing the telescope around here, so obviously we've got some wind, and that's that's going to plague us a little bit. You can see this is a gigantic flag sticking up into the air, and we'll just deal with it. All right, so I'm going to do on this. I'm going to do we'll do a 25-second exposure, and off we go. So we'll stack this as well. What is this, you ask? This is called, should I tell you or not? It's called the Pacman Nebula. I'm okay with it. I'll tell you. The Pacman Nebula. And you'll see why it's called the Pacman Nebula in, well, just about 3 seconds. So here it comes. And there it is, the Pacman Nebula. It's called the Pacman, obviously, because it looks like Pac-Man. Waka, 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 waka. Kind of cool. Yeah.
Oh, there it is. There it is. Oh, that's beautiful. Cool.
Yeah. Yep.
Looks like
it's
it
beautiful.
has an eyeball right in the middle there.
I know, right?
Open. That's cool.
Yep. Exactly. So this is the Pacman Nebula. It's an emission nebula. And let's see if we can tease and coax a little bit more out of it.
Hey, Mark, if you get a chance, look at your Skype per Daryl.
Okay. Okay.
That is so cool.
Yeah, Daryl's feeling better. He wants to join. So let's bring him in, Marianne. All right, Daryl, let me give you a ring here. Tell me when you're ready. Actually, let me go to the conversation here with you, Marianne, and let's see if we can add him into it. I think that's what we can do. Just got to figure out how to do it. Add participants. There we go. Okay, so let's get Daryl in here with us. All right. Hope you're ready, Daryl, because I'm calling. Well, it won't let me pick Daryl. Why is that? Oh, Skype, yes. He'll join us when he can get when he's ready.
Oh, that'd be great. Love to have Daryl on with us.
He's in.
Oh, sweet.
Hey, Daryl. Can't hear you yet. I can't hear him if he's talking. Maybe he's setting up his mic.
It's funny because it sounds like what my little issues.
Yeah.
That is gorgeous.
Yeah. He is not talking because I don't see any signal coming in at all. he's probably saying, hang on, I'm trying to figure it out. Right?
Be perfect.
Yeah. This is pretty. We don't have... the wind has not been too much of a problem for the Pacman so far. Let's back out. Okay, I'm going to call Daryl back in just a minute. Alright, there we go. Look at that. And let's actually... We're going to bring this as the mid-level value, and we bring the mid-level value to the left. I'll call you back in just a second here, Daryl. And then we move this dark level in, and it tends to show you a lot more detail that's living in this nebula. Look at that. Now you see much more in here. Alright, let's go bring Daryl in again.
You do that, then I got a question for you.
Okay. Okay.
Oh, wow.
2, 3.
It's got really brilliant.
Yeah.
Wow.
Hello, can you hear me?
There's Daryl. Hey, Daryl.
Hi,
Welcome.
Mark. Hello, Marianne. Hi, everybody.
Oh, that is so great to hear your voice. I'm glad you're here.
Hi. Mark, can you share your screen with me?
Yes, I can. Marianne doesn't get to get a screen share.
I don't even want to try any of that computer stuff. I'm having a great time looking at
You're just 30 seconds behind, that's all. Okay, we're gonna share screens. Which one am I sharing here? Okay, that one. No, that's the wrong one. I'm gonna stop sharing right now, Daryl, and bring it back. Sorry. Stop sharing, and then start sharing the proper screen. I just picked the wrong one. I apologize. This is the one. Okay. There we go.
Hey, Mark, looks like Kendrick has a question when you get settled.
All right, I'm settled. What's he say?
Let's see. What are the lasers used in large telescopes?
Oh. There's a number of things that the large observatories use the lasers for. One of them goes back to the Apollo era, when they used to, they would take, actually, even today, they would use a laser to bounce off of the retroreflector experiment on the moon and calculate how long it takes the laser beam to go to the moon and back, and that can give us an extremely accurate distance for the moon. And as you know, this is how we discovered that the moon is slowly spiraling away from us, with actual data rather than just theory. It's also used to judge the air cells in the air for what are called AO systems, adaptive optics systems. And for instance, we're looking at the wind punishing our image a little bit here, but when we check out what happens with a large observatory telescope, and we look at how a nebula like this looks, well, the stars can dance around and twinkle, and that's because between here and the outer edge of the atmosphere, turbulent air is moving and shaping, changing the star images, making them bloat and big, not just wind. And it does the same thing to a nebula. So by using the laser, they can actually detect and correct for the turbulent air cells, and literally in many changes per second, the mirrors, which are hexagonal mirrors all in an array, in these bigger telescopes like the Keck telescope, okay, they can correct all of the motions by simply moving around just a little bit and moving a reflection that might be extended to the left back to the right in a fraction of a second, a heartbeat, and make the images much sharper. So that's.
If you ever see the VLT telescope down at the European Southern Observatory, there's that one famous video I posted before. They use a sodium laser, very powerful yellow sodium laser,
Mm-hmm.
to make an artificial guide star for the telescope. It's impressive as all get out when you see it.
Yeah. Yeah, and they would also use green argon lasers, and the color of the laser is very important because it relates to different, or how different elements in our atmosphere and compounds in our atmosphere will react to the laser. Certain light gets through better than others, and so they would use these different colored lasers for those things. So Daryl, the telescope's actually performing quite well. I have to do a full polar alignment when I get out there because, as it turns out, I'm consistently a small amount south of the object. But every time I go to an object, it's not in there, and I just move up, and there it is. So it's consistent.
Does that affect your tracking for exposures or anything?
No, because we're doing this here. This is, we did 50 exposures on the Andromeda Galaxy before, and they were just perfect.
Huh. I would think, if you're stacking, I guess it can account for that. Because the image will shift over time, but I guess the tracking can compensate.
It does. Well, remember, I am guiding here, as you can see right there. So,
I had wondered if you might have to refine your polar alignment.
Well, I technically shouldn't have to, but when they put it back in, it's possible that they might have shifted the flange plate a little bit that the telescope sits on. But I wasn't going to argue. They were doing the work of a saint going out there to do this. So
you're not going to argue with us, me and Tara. You're not going to.
No, I'm not going to argue. No, I think you did a phenomenal job. I owe you plenty.
Well,
yep.
The funny part of that is I stood outside, or I should say, I sat outside the observatory, and I held the phone up with you talking on the phone, guiding Tara on where to put the
cables,
the phone cords, and the cables, and the power cords, and how to set everything back up on the telescope. It was so great. I just sat out there and held the phone.
Yeah. Well, you did a nice job, but I've got to tell you, it's paid off.
Oh my goodness gracious! Yes.
Look at
100%.
this beautiful pillar. Okay, see this bright hot cluster? This cluster of stars is young and hot, and it has huge stellar winds that are very, very powerful radiation winds, and they're also sending off lots of protons and electrons. And this wind strips the material away from the middle of the cluster where it is. That's why all these clusters, like the Rosette Nebula as well, look like they're hollow inside. They've stripped out a cavity around the star cluster. But sometimes there's an area in the cluster, or in the nebula where and we do have a little drift here, but I can tell you this, where the star's winds strike an area that's more dense and has been gravitationally contracting, and that gravitational contraction makes it very, very difficult, because it's denser in here, for the material to be eroded away, like has been eroded away here and all throughout here, as you can see. And that what it does is that dense area here protects the little tiny bit behind it, so it makes what looks like a pillar. The pillars of creation formed just this way, most likely. Okay, and we see pillars everywhere in these regions. If you look carefully, you'll see another one here. There's another one here, okay? And there's others down here. This black nebula is in the foreground, probably in front of this star cluster. This is a dark dust cloud, and this is probably behind it, buried in more dark dust, which this all used to be. This all used to be like this, okay? But then when these stars lit it up, it started ionizing hydrogen, turning it red like this. And so that's why we see it this way. And that's where those pillars come from. You see more over here.
Wow.
Yeah.
This is amazing.
Yeah. You know, Daryl, I wasn't sure I was going to stream tonight at all because I really had to do a thorough test on the telescope. And when I first turned it on, the right ascension, which is this number here, which is the east-west motion, those coordinates were 2 hours off, and I didn't know why. I figured out that I was getting incorrect GPS on the telescope, so I fixed that from here. And when I started it up again, it worked perfectly. And I was like, all right. So, but now I still have that polar alignment to do to get back to the final. It's off in the declination. It's not off in the right ascension. It's off in the declination. And that's exactly possibly due to that flange plate getting tipped just a little bit when they put it on. But,
Yeah, I was checking weather forecast earlier tonight, and I saw for Wickenburg, Arizona, it said clear but windy.
mhm.
And I wondered if the wind would have kept you away tonight, but evidently not.
I
So,
couldn't. I had to do this.
Glad to see you're back.
Yeah, I had to do it. I had to see if it was going to work. I had to see if we were going to be okay.
Oh, yeah.
And after all this time, I had to see if Marianne and Tara's and Dale's efforts paid off, and they have.
Congratulations, and thank you, Marianne and Tara and Dale.
That's right.
Oh, you're very welcome. It was. I don't know, Daryl, if you heard what our experience was going out there today.
Yeah, I told him.
Just a little
Very
bit.
interesting. Yeah, very interesting experience, but everything was well worth it. We were so excited that we were able to get the telescope back running. This is just amazing. Absolutely amazing.
Well, good for you.
I do have to say hi to Benjamin Izabela. How you doing? And Alice in Winterland. Good to see you. Nice to see you guys back again. I'm glad that you guys could rejoin us. You know what's funny is just before I went on to stream, I noticed that there was like nobody waiting, and I thought, well, you know, people probably don't notice because, you know, they're used to STLS not being up for a while, so probably they didn't pay any attention. As soon as I started streaming, all of a sudden people just started coming in here. I was like, wow, how'd that happen so fast? So maybe there's something I'm missing about how this all works. You know? But usually the notifications go out, but when the stream goes out, maybe there's another notification saying, oh, STLS is live or something. I don't know. Alice, that's fine. I like having you.
I got it on my computer, or I got a notification, hey, you're up, you're live. I think if everybody is already have you on to say get notified when you go live, I think that continues. That will happen whether, you know, like it was down a couple of weeks. As soon as you went up live, boom. And I'm so glad that does that.
Yeah, I actually I did send out community notices letting people know, but I don't know how many people get to see those. You know, I don't know how that all works. Okay, we've done 40 of these stacked. I think that's probably enough. And I'll first of all name it. This is the Pacman Nebula. These are not the best shots because it's our back to streaming stream and we have wind. We've got the winds, so we have to worry about that too. But I'll save it, and we'll take our astronomical fits file and then save it exactly as seen, and it's gonna go out to the database online in seconds, so it'll be out there. All right, very good.
It's probably a little early to look at Auriga from the observatory yet, is it?
I wanted to check out, you know, like the Flaming Star Nebula and so forth, and see what we could see there. But I'll have to check there. I'll have to check.
I saw a great sharpless object in Auriga earlier. I'm trying to find it now.
Okay.
I don't remember what its number was, but it might be a good picture opportunity for you. We might have to wait till later tonight or later this year, but
Okay.
let me see if I can find it. I'm looking.
Now, when Daryl said a sharpless object, that sharpless is a catalog. And let me actually show you, because I am going to actually increase the number of catalogs that we're using tonight. And by the way, we're starting earlier, just so you know. I'm only starting later tonight because of I was getting things ready. Okay, so we're in here. When we're in Stellarium, okay, we go to Deep Sky Objects, and we can click on the different catalogs. Okay, this is the Caldwell catalog. Okay, it has lots of galaxies in there. Barnard catalog. This is dark nebulae and dark objects. Sharpless catalog has regions of H2, that is to say, hydrogen emission regions. The Vandenberg catalog is a catalog of reflection nebulae. Okay, and then this is Lund's Bright Nebula catalog and Lund's Dark Nebula catalog. Linz, I mean. I keep calling it Lund's. I don't know why. I think I'm thinking of candy or something. And that's good enough. And now when we come back out of here, you'll see many more objects show up, see? So that's right. Alright, so let's go. Now we're in Cassiopeia right now. I wonder if we should go to Navi and go to the Gamma Cas. See how it works. Let's try that. Again, it's going to be just a little out of our view until I do the precision alignment again, which is fine. It's probably going to go to Navi. That'll probably be the star that it centers up for us. Yeah, it looks like Navi.
Well, darn. I can't find it. I was really out of it when I saw that this morning. I thought I remembered the name or the number of the sharpless object, but evidently not. I tried looking it up and it's not there.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So anyway.
So let's center this guy up. Yeah, went too far, didn't we? Alright. And so it's down there, and I have to just do this again. I gotta head north a little bit. As we come up north, you'll see the Gamma Cas Nebula coming into view here. Let me just come in here now. Yeah. Let's see where we are. A little bit more. Let me get it this way. Just a bit. Go back down south a little. Okay, it's pretty faint, but it might be here. I have to check it out. Alright, let's try a 20-second finder shot. See if we can find it here. And then we'll see where it is.
Hey, Mark, Izabela misses the music, and I do too. Is it just
Misses the
because
music?
we were testing?
No, the music's on. You can't hear it because you're not. Yeah.
Izabela can't hear it either. I just didn't know.
Really? Because it's playing.
Yeah, I don't hear the music, but then I never do.
Well, no,
She
but
says I missed the STLS music. Now, Mark, is this just playing in your head, maybe?
No. I'm literally. No. Here, look at it. Now. Well, you can't see it, but Daryl could. I just dragged it over on the other screen for a minute to show that it was doing. Yeah, see, Uberku hears it. Asher hears it. Yeah, it's all there. She says she missed it, meaning she didn't see she's missing it. She says she missed it.
She missed it. I'm sorry, Izabela. I got that wrong. She missed it, and I did too. So it's glad it's back.
Yeah.
And bummer, yeah, I can't hear it because I'm on the phone. But that's okay.
Yeah, that's true. You just can't hear it right now, but you will. All right.
Mark,
so
Izabela asked me something in chat. I mentioned I had intended to talk about it on the show if we had done one tonight.
Okay.
May I talk just a moment about it?
Yeah, please do.
Okay. As Izabela mentioned, there is going to be a partial solar eclipse on October 25th, I believe. We won't see it here in the States, but it's going to be visible from Western Asia and almost all of Europe and Northern Africa. It'll be a decent partial solar. And I had meant to comment that you may have heard, I think I talked about it on our last show we did, that there is going to be a total lunar eclipse on November the 8th.
That's right.
And that's going to be visible from here in the States and maybe Western Europe, I forget. And I wanted to say that there's actually a connection between those two events. You tend to see solar and lunar eclipses happen together, 2 weeks apart.
Yeah.
It's a thing called the line of nodes. You can look it up, or I'll type it in chat. Search line of nodes. NODES, line of nodes. That is, we don't have a solar or lunar eclipse every month because the moon's orbit is tilted 5 degrees to Earth's orbit around the sun, the ecliptic plane in other words, and only when the intersection of the lunar orbit and Earth's orbit around the sun, two places where those two planes intersect, that line that is formed by the intersection, only when that line is pointing toward the sun will we get lunar and solar eclipses. And that is going to happen on October 25th for the solar eclipse, and it'll be an even better alignment for the line of nodes on November the 8th. Early on, it's a partial eclipse, hence the partial solar October 25th, but the alignment will be almost perfect on November the 8th. So we will get the total lunar eclipse 2 weeks later on November the 8th.
Yep, that's beautiful. And we're going to try and stream that, by the way, guys. There might be a low moon that day from our observatory view, but we'll check it out. This is the Gamma Cassiopeia Nebula that we're looking at here. It is an emission nebula and a reflection nebula. The blue is the reflection, and the red is the ionized hydrogen. This is only 5 stacked, and we have some wind that is causing this to drift a little bit. But we have a half a fair chance here to capture it pretty well, and we have time on our side. So what we'll do is we let it do this, and what happens is the star images can tend to round out over time. Yeah. All right. But it's not perfect. I would actually, I would actually like to clear it and start it again, which I'm going to do. Oh, why did I do that? Oh, I did it. Oh, well. Blame me. Not Daryl, not Marianne. You still awake, Marianne?
Actually, I was up
Yes?
at 4 o'clock this morning getting ready to go out to the observatory. So I think I might just be calling it a night, guys.
I read your mind.
I know. I'm sorry. This is amazing stuff. This is beautiful, and I'm so excited that we are finally back in business.
Yeah, we are. We are. Thanks to you, thanks to Tara, and thanks to Dale.
Yeah.
Definitely. Hey, guys, I am going to say goodnight. It's an honor to be on the show with all of you, and I'm so happy to be able to, again, say hi to everybody in chat verbally instead of trying to type it.
There you go.
So it's been exciting, and I thank you. And hey, maybe, like I said, we'll do a live stream from Arizona out here the first week of November.
That's right. We got to teach astronomy in the desert, and then I'll be able to do some live streaming before I head out to the desert, and then maybe in the desert I can do it.
Let's try it. We've got Starlink. Let's hope we can do a cool live stream right out there in the observatory.
Yeah, I got another security camera to install as well, which is a pan and tilt and zoom. So we're going to try to get that running while we're there.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
So we'll see how that works, yeah.
Marianne, thank you for all you've done and all you do.
Yeah, she and Tara and Dale did a fantastic job today, boy, let me tell you. Unsung heroes, let me tell you. I'm just a big mouth in the front going blah, 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 blah.
Now, you and Daryl just kick butt, take names on the stream, and I thank you for everything you guys do, and we're here for you. So, anyway, good night, everyone, and we'll see you on the next stream.
Good night.
All right. Thanks, Marianne. We'll see you tomorrow.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye. I don't think she hung up.
I don't know how to hang up.
I knew it.
Okay, bye.
Bye. All right, it's just you now.
Okay. Would you excuse me a moment, please? I'll be right back.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Welcome back. I'm glad you're feeling better. Okay. See how rich the colors are, guys? It really looks beautiful. You got this nice deep red. You got this beautiful reflection nebula there. We've only got 7 stacks, so this is a very, very difficult object to capture because of the brightness of Navi, the star near it. Okay, we look here. Okay, this is the Gamma Cast Nebula, and this is Navi. Now, the star Navi is Gamma Cassiopeia. All right, and in the grand scheme of things, if we pull out, you can see the W of Cassiopeia. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. See, and that center star Navi has this nebula right just next to it, and I like to capture this nebula because if you can capture it, it is actually a beautiful capture. And a lot of detail shows up. Now it is windy, yes, but it's actually not coming out too bad. Actually, I have to say, it looks pretty good. So throw something out there to show you again. That's the Gamma Cassiopeia Nebula. And we're at 9 stacked images here. And now you know what it is. Let's pull that back. There we go. And let's do some processing here. Let's do a color correction, which is subtle but happens. And now let's do this. Alright, now let's pull this back a little bit. Brighten our background, bring in some details in the back. Then push this. This is the mid-level. We're going to move this in a little, which is going to make it brighter. But then we're going to cut the back of the background down darker again. This is the slope of this is the data right here. This yellow line is the intersection of going through all the data. So if we move this line over, you see more of the yellow line intersects more of the actual data. But see how bright it makes it? Oh, look at that. We had something fly through here. Look at that. You can see it right there. That's crazy. Welcome back, Joe.
Thank you. I noticed the star there is really bright.
Navi, yeah.
The halo around it.
Yeah.
Oh, is that just okay? Never mind.
It's all right.
I'm rusty with all this. I got to get used to all this all over again.
Yeah, I know, right?
Plus, it looks like Skype changed while we were gone.
Really?
Yeah, it looks different to me.
Wow. Look at this line.
Squiggly.
That's weird. Yeah, I think it's squiggly because of the guiding error. I wonder what's going on with that. That wasn't in any other ones, so clearly it's a transient object here. But the more we stack, the dimmer that'll become, and finally it'll be gone. It's already getting harder to see. But this is Gamma Cast. It looks beautiful. Yeah, look at that. So this is the size that you'd see it at. Okay, there's that star in the middle of the W. Yep. Yeah. All right. Oh man, I couldn't sleep knowing that this telescope was in repair and all that. It's just like crazy. Right,
I am not surprised.
Yeah. Daisy and the Cowboy.
Surprised if you didn't try to stream.
Yep. Daisy and the Cowboy are here. That's Michael and Daisy. I know Michael, and I don't Daisy. I'm not sure I know you, but I know Michael. I was talking to him earlier. I think it was yesterday. I talked to you, Michael. How you doing? You're in Sedona, I understand. Correct? Right now, you went up to Sedona. So let us know in the chat there, Michael. Michael and Daisy were staying at Marianne's, and then they actually went to Sedona. And I've known Michael for a while, and I just don't. I don't know if I met you, Daisy. I'm sorry. And just got in from Sedona. Okay, that's why Daisy and the Cowboy. You wearing boots, Michael? All right. Let's zoom in on this now, and then do some work on this. Alright, let's bring this in. Try to brighten our nebulae up. Look at that. Look how much nebula is actually out here. Look at this. Isn't that crazy? Beautiful. This is the most prominent feature. Alright, and I think it's Navi that's causing it to light up. Not sure what is causing this reflection nebula here. It could be a star that's in here that you don't see. It could also be Navi because the reflection nebula is caused by just dust scattering the blue light from the stars. So that's possible.
This is Gamma Cast?
Yes, it is.
I'll try to find out real quick.
Yeah.
That reminds me of another one. I think you could do the California Nebula.
That's what I was looking for. Yeah, I want to do the California Nebula. It's so stunning. You know, while this is doing that, let's actually go here. That's in Perseus, I believe.
It is.
And it's right. It should be kind of down. There it is. It's a little bit south, I think, right? Is this it?
Oh, sorry.
Oh, that's not it. That's actually...
It's actually over toward the Pleiades.
Yeah, I'm going the wrong way here. Alright, so... Well, we have the heart and soul are right near us. We could do the heart. We might be able to catch the heart. That's pretty cool.
It's that time of year.
Yeah, I'm not sure though, because if you look at the telescope, well, maybe. We're doing gamma cat. We might be able to do it. You might be. But here's Perseus, so here it is. So let's go there and see. We're still working here on the Gamma Cast Nebula. That's good. This is coming in nicely now. This looks really pretty. I did do a critical focus earlier tonight, guys. I actually did the whole focus routine. Well, we could actually go check out the double cluster, heart and soul. Where is the California Nebula?
I found one caption for Gamma Cassiopeia Nebula.
Okay, here it is right here.
And it certainly sounds like Gamma
It.
Cas, the star, Navi, I guess,
Yeah.
is what's illuminating them, and they're actually being evaporated and dispersed
Yeah.
into the interstellar medium by the nearby blue monster star.
All right.
Gamma is 40,000 times more luminous, 15,000 times more massive, and rotates about 300 kilometers an hour, or 150 more times more rapidly than our sun.
Let's show off. Yeah.
15,000 times more massive? I don't believe that.
Yeah, I think it's that's the problem. See, if you're using Wikipedia, it's
This is Sky
like,
and Telescope.
well, then that's 15,000 times more massive or bright.
It says more massive. They say
Okay.
it's 40,000 times as bright,
Okay.
15,000 times more massive. Somebody made a mistake there.
Yeah, we could look up the mass. Okay, let's do
But
something
anyway,
here.
yeah. Navi is what's lighting up the Gamma Cast Nebula.
Mm-hmm.
And it's such powerful radiation, it's actually destroying them.
Wow. So that is it. Okay. Well, let's get the altitude above the horizon on this. It's 45. That'll be close. Tell you what. We're gonna come up to. We're gonna do the heart. We'll catch the heart. All right. Because I think we're still just a little low. We're a little low to do this other.
You might remember, seeing Gamma Cast there reminded me of the California Nebula because of the big bright star to the side lighting them up. And we see the same thing with, I think it's, what is it, Xi Persei? I forget its name.
Well, the flaming star in Auriga.
The big super bright star that's lighting up the California Nebula in a similar manner there.
Yeah. Okay, we're gonna pause this here and save it. I'm gonna change this to Gamma Cas Nebula, and then save it. Okay. And so we save the astronomical fits, and then we save it exactly as seen. And then, of course, I'll process as well. Okay. So those are saved. Those are going to be up there in no time. Now we're going to go back to our 1 second shot and go into night vision mode one more time. And now we're going to just tweak the telescope a little bit. Get back my my computer. Now let's go back here to Stellarium, And we're going to tell it to go to the Heart Nebula. Now, I can actually just send it to the Heart just by telling it to go east. So maybe I'll do that because it's going to be right here. No, you know what? I'm not. I'm going to let it find it. Why not? Okay. So let's go down here. Let's see. There's the Heart. The Heart looks beautiful, and I can't wait to show you the Heart Nebula again. And it's going to be stunning. Here we go. Alright. High precision slew. We're going to find a waypoint star and then move to the Heart Nebula.
I actually feel halfway decent now.
That's good.
I think I'm still going to try to go to bed early. God, I slept all day.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to try and go to bed too. Just don't know when. See, they replaced the whole motherboard in the telescope. So with the replacement to the motherboard, I had to go through and go through every single parameter and verify it, calculate new ones, and so I did. And I couldn't tell it to. Realign it. I mean, I realigned it. I did plate solving. It told me where I am in the sky, but I ended up finding out that this wasn't the best alignment anymore, which is okay.
Is the new motherboard still running on that old version of the software you used before?
Oh yeah, no, it's specifically. That's weird. It's old, but it's actually a newer software. It's an earlier number. You know how you have version numbers, guys, in the software, like version 2. Well, this is like version 1.1i. Okay, and we should be up to like version 3 point something, but 1.1i is actually newer software than the 3. I don't know what happened. I mean, I know that another company took over the software process and started doing the software. And that was really ridiculous. All right, let's see here. There we go. There's a nebula there that I'm familiar with. There's the fish head up here. Okay. So we're going to go back to 33% here. All right, and we're going to move this way just a little. Okay. And here's the Heart Nebula. You can start to see it here in night vision mode. And right there you'll see we're starting to search for a star, a guide star. And once we obtain a guide star, it's going to say boom and guiding. And you'll see the numbers changing, which shows us that we're doing it. Cosmic Ray says Heart Nebula, also known as the Running Dog Nebula. Thank you, Cosmic Ray. Daisy and the Cowboy, Mike and Daisy asking, do you have the ability to see solar flares? I don't have a solar telescope out there right now, Mike, but I think it's Mike talking and not Daisy. But I am planning on doing that so we can do daytime streams too. And it'd ride piggyback on the telescope. Okay, our telescope is now stabilized. We have it
that would
running.
Be cool.
Yeah. All right, and we're gonna do a 25-second shot here, and might be out of the wind enough. Let's find out if it's going to be. So we're gonna kick this down and bring up our live stack. The Heart Nebula is nothing short of spectacular, guys. If you saw on my webpage or Facebook page, you saw the Soul Nebula. That is just below this one. James Dugan says 24/7 Sky Tour live stream. You know what? I can tell you right now, if I can get more people to look at this beautiful nebula. Wow! If I can get more people to help me we could run 24/7. We have a daytime crew, we have an evening crew, and we could actually do it 24/7. And a third shift crew.
Your daytime crew could also be the far side of the world crew.
That's correct. It depends. That's right.
Or you have two different daytime crews.
Yeah. You said hi to Izabela, right?
Sure.
You did, right?
Hi, Izabela.
Oh, okay.
She's so nice, I'll say it twice. Hello, Izabela.
All right. Hey, JSCO77, good to see you as well. Wow, look at this. This is the Heart Nebula. This is just 3 stacked images. I seem to think we're getting a little dragged out here too. But let me just do this and just color balance it a little bit. And then pull our black level back just a little, pull out more details in the nebula. And then pull this one out to show more details in the upper part of our curve. And pull this one in, the black level, kind of darken that space background and put contrast in between. There we go. And now let's see just how bad the stars are. Yeah, we're getting wind, so I'm going to try. We succeeded with the gamma cast, so we're going to clear this and see if this next shot is clearer. No, that one's also crappy. So we're fighting the wind, but guess what? It's back and running. Yeehaw. We also did some cable management out there today. Tara did that and made sure that the cables... We actually ran the telescope as way more to west and way more to the east and way to the north, way to the south, way more than we would. And we did that to make sure that we could actually have no problems with the cables bunching up or getting caught on anything. And this particular configuration, just like you see right here, this is exactly one of the ones that I was worried about, was making sure that we could look far north and not have the cables hit anything, bunch up, hit the floor, do anything. So they're all bundled in cable bundles. And that's where we are. There's the center of the heart. Look at that. Wow. This is a hot young cluster in the heart. And again, a cavity that is hollowed out by this young cluster. Skylar Poison, how you doing? Skylar Paulson. Okay, sorry. This telescope system that we're using is sort of a hybrid. We actually, it was what's called a Meade LX600. It was an f8 system, meaning the photographic speed was f8. And we made it 25 times faster by adding a lens off the front with a camera sitting on the front of the telescope. And that makes our telescope much faster photographically. So we can capture things like this in a 25-second exposure that would take 4, 5, 6 minutes, maybe even longer to capture with a telescope slower than this. And so over... Huh?
For each frame.
Yeah, right. For each frame. And what we're doing is we're stacking them. So we capture one image, and then we capture a second, align it with the first, and stack it on top and make an image sandwich. And that image sandwich hides all the noise eventually. Like right in here, we see there's like this modeling in here. That's noise. But the more frames we capture, the softer that becomes. The data, like the dark nebula in here and the hydrogen emission regions, this comes to the top and becomes large mountains in the data, and the noise becomes lower and lower and lower and becomes almost non-existent over time. So the telescope we're using right now, we're just over, I'd say, $8,000 or $9,000. You know, the building cost thousands of dollars to make the building too. And I'm going to tell you right now, we did all of it through a GoFundMe. Okay, I didn't spend any personal money on this building or this telescope. All right, it was all because people want to see this, and trust me, I haven't forgotten. I stay up nearly all night sometimes with folks in the stream so they can see what we do. You know? The telescope itself is on protected land. So we can't take visitors out there. I have access to it. I'm like the only one besides Marianne and Tara. That's problematic because I have another telescope to install out there, and I could use help, but it's not going to happen. I'm going to have to do it myself. Look at this beautiful area. Look at this. This almost looks three-dimensional, doesn't it?
It does.
I know our stars are just a little bit elongated from the wind. We can still appreciate all the knots and eddies in here. Look at that. So here's let me show you the whole nebula now as a whole. This bright area over here has a specific name. It's called the Fish Head Nebula.
Flounder.
Fan mail from some flounder. Remember Bullwinkle? Bullwinkle's here with us. He's here. Bullwinkle 00's up above in the chat.
There he is, right there. Hello, Bullwinkle.
There he is.
William
Bullwinkle
was a busy guy.
Yeah, Bullwinkle and Cosmic Ray are really good for providing some of the details for folks. It's very kind. Thanks, guys. And you're right, Daryl. He was a very busy guy, right?
Oh, yeah. He found
and he was
quite a
using
few of the Messier objects, and
yeah.
He didn't he start the whole new general catalog, or am I confusing him with somebody else? He found tons of stuff in the sky. And,
he did.
His sister and his son did also.
Yeah, his sister is Claire, I think, right?
Carolyn?
Carolyn, okay, yeah. And what's interesting...
John, I think.
Okay. What's interesting is his telescope was 43 inches in diameter. The mirror was 43 inches in diameter. But now, when you say mirror, you have to really be careful because it wasn't a mirror. Yes, it was a reflective surface, but it was actually polished metal called speculum metal.
Uh-huh.
And that metal tarnished. During an observing session, it would visibly tarnish, and he'd have to polish it. Every time he went to observe, he had to polish it for a long time to get it to have that sheen. Then he'd have to quickly do his observations and then polish it again.
Yeah, and eventually the polishing would wear down the soft speculum so much that it actually changed the figure of the telescope and changed its F ratio. I read something interesting yesterday or day before.
Okay.
At one point, to get around the problems of speculum mirrors, they discussed making mirrors out of platinum.
Wow.
As being a noble element, it doesn't tarnish, and it's white, you know.
Yeah.
It would have run circles around speculum, but they never did because there wasn't enough of it around.
Yeah. Hedrick. Ooh, us Martians get very angry indeed. Where's my Illudium Pu-36 explosive space modulator? Now, why am I doing that? Because Hedrick says, Mark, can you please do the Marvin the Martian voice? Yeah, it's like, what do you need that for, Doc? I have to blow up the Earth. It's blocking my view of Venus. Or whatever he said. And Bugs Bunny goes, oh, okay, Doc. What? I thought that was funny. Great show. Illudium Pu-36 explosive space modulator. Very cool. Okay, let's pull the name out. You've seen it. You don't need to see it again for a little while.
Was that, oh God, what's his name? He did the voices for so many,
Mel Blanc?
Yeah, Mel Blanc.
Yeah, he did Bugs Bunny. He might have done Marvin the Martian, I'm not sure.
He did Yosemite Sam too, didn't he?
Yeah, oh yeah, he probably did that, yeah. He did Daffy Duck, right?
Yeah.
Porky Pig, of course.
I do believe.
Yeah, he was famous for Porky Pig. Wow, this is beautiful. I mean, we got 21 stacked here, and I know that we have a little bit of wind damage to our imagery, but it's actually not bad. Look at the detail right here. That is so stunning. Let me see if we can pull out some more detail here. I'm gonna push this in. Pull this up the side of the curve here to see if we can add some contrast. Oh yeah, look at that.
As Cosmic Ray noted earlier, the bright stars there in the upper right, they're the cluster near the center that's illuminating the nebula.
Yeah. And again, these stars have also hollowed out the cavity in here with their very, very powerful stellar winds. And material that's less dense can get thrown farther away, and material that's more dense will not be as easily eroded. And so that's why we see such variations in there. You know. Jay, thanks. Jay Rich says, great impressions, by the way. I hope he wasn't talking about the impressions I make when I sit in the chair. He was talking about the voice impressions. I used to do 80 different characters and 80 different people. That was my voice impression repertoire. But after I had a surgery that went really bad, I ended up losing one of my vocal cords. So I lost the higher register, so I could only do the lower voices. So I lost a good 50 to 60 of those characters. It's alright. I don't mind. I lived. That was important. Alright, let's do a color. There we go.
Matters.
Yeah. Okay, color correction shows us a little better what we're looking at here. Wow, this is gorgeous. And this is a perfect song for this. Which I know you can't hear it, Daryl, but it's a song called Relaxing Chill. Oh yeah. Duck Dodger in the 24th and a half century. I can't do Daffy Duck, I never could.
I liked it when him and Bugs debated duck season versus rabbit season.
Rabbit season! Duck season! It's rabbit season! And then he's the one that would get shot and his bill would go and like end up facing the wrong way and have to go and bring it back to the front. If only ducks worked that way. Daffy Duck was always getting just trampled, beaten, smashed, shot. You know? Well, JSCO says, I can't hear the music very well either. I can tell it's playing, but that's about it. It's in the background there, yeah. So it's not very loud. Papa Tom said, can you turn it down a little earlier? Because it might have been a loud cut. And I never really popped it up there. Hedrick says, you could host a kids camp for stargazing. I used to teach at a science center, Hedrick, and I had between 30 and 50 kids a night where I would stay up all night with them. And literally the only one on the mountain with them. And we would go through all kinds of objects. I'd show them how to take pictures. They would take pictures. Then I would teach them how to process their pictures, and it was really fun. And they got to do an awful lot. So I've done that, and taught kids. And I never. That's where I took my astronomy. Right, was to public outreach. Because look at this thing. Look at this. This is sitting over your head. And you don't even know it's there. And it's in the constellation of Cassiopeia, right here. It's right there. And here is the constellation of Cassiopeia, all right? And let me just make it less complicated, okay? You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then over here, just in the bottom of Cassiopeia, right, we have the Heart Nebula sitting there. And right back here is the double cluster, which we'll check out too in just a few minutes, I believe.
Don't forget the Soul Nebula. It's close too.
It is.
Can't have heart without soul.
Yeah, that's true. Cosmic Ray says, does Mark make balloons in the shape of the nebula? I did balloon animals. I was a magician for many years, still am, and I'll do magic tricks and stuff when I do talks. I'll use like a magical effect to kind of illustrate a topic. Like with infrared light, I have a object where I capture a red light in the middle of the air and I throw it between my hands, but there's really no light there, and it goes back and forth, and I use it to talk about infrared light and how infrared radiation works. And meanwhile, the people in the audience are going, what's going on? What's happening? Where'd that come from? It helps people remember, it makes them remember. Yeah. Oh, Mike says, Mark, this nebula looks like Snickers with her head in the upper right, including her ears. Okay. Marianne's dog is named Snickers. And this right here, these look like Snickers' ears. This is her forehead and her head. Okay. Her legs and her back legs and her body. It looks like Snickers. He's absolutely right. This is the Snickers Nebula from now on. Well spoken, Mike. Well spoken. Hey there, Native NC. What's going on? Nice. Using headphones takes the tour to the next level. Alright. Well done. Is that Native NC, Native North Carolina? Let me know. And Bullwinkle says NGC 896, also known as the Running Dog Nebula, dog balloons. Did I miss the letter? Did you miss a number there? NGC 896?
Cosmic Ray said that earlier too. I guess I actually see a dog shape now.
Yeah, see, here's the head, here's the back, here's the tail. Wait, like right here. There's the tail, there's the back, there's the head, there's the ears sticking up, here's the front leg, the proud chest, and it slopes down to the back legs. This should be the Snickers Nebula.
I see a dog with a fish head myself.
Okay. Well, this is the heart right here. See the heart?
Oh, yeah.
You can't miss the heart. Right there. On February 14th, we look at the Heart Nebula because it's up. So yeah, so there we go. So we've done 41 of these. So we're going to stop these here and we're going to save it as the Heart Nebula. All right. And we're going to go and say pause. Save our raw files, then save our image exactly as seen. There we go. And then we're gonna clear it. But don't worry, it hasn't gone away. It is going up to our database for you to enjoy in just a little while. A few minutes, actually. Okay, so now let's bring our system back, go into night vision mode. Okay. There we are. And grab our image here and go down just a tiny bit to the Soul Nebula. And I think we could just steer to it because it's so close. And that's what we're going to do. Let's see here. Let me go back, sorry. Alright, and now we're just going to go a little bit more to the east. Okay. And as we move a little bit to the east here, we'll be stopping it shortly and then going south a little bit. Okay, and now we're going to head south. And that takes us into the heart of the Soul Nebula. And let me go see where we are. We should be in it right there. We jumped a little bit too far here. This one fits very nicely in the field of view, so this should be pretty nice. Okay. I believe it's in there, and we will know in just a few seconds when we stop searching and we actually start to guide. There we go. Initialization, guiding underway. I think this is probably going to want to come over a little. I'm going to do a little shot here to find it here. Make sure we got it. Okay, here we go. And I won't stack yet because we're just going to be looking for this. Let's see what we get. Izabela has put the link to the Heart Nebula up for everybody. Okay, let's do this. There it is, right there. Now, we're going to go and do one thing now. Is I just want to move it a little bit.
I can see the heart being called the heart. I know I've seen this before, and I've doubtless said it before. Is this the one that looks like the Star Baby from 2001?
Oh, is this the one?
I got
maybe
that
it
impression
is.
when I saw it there a second ago.
Alright, maybe it is. You could be right.
I don't recall.
We're going to move a little bit to the west. Okay, a little bit more. Okay, that'll be good. Now we're going to do our search. And this one we're going to do for 25 seconds. And I'm only doing 25 seconds tonight, folks, because I don't want to have the wind affect us so we can't get anything. So we're taking a chance. Alright. Alright. Here we go. 25 seconds. We're underway. Guiding is stabilized. And now we can stack the Soul Nebula. Ah, it's just so beautiful. Westerhout 5, yes, the Soul Nebula. Okay, here comes the first image of the Soul. There it is. Look at that.
I think it is the Star Baby.
Yeah, it is, because there's the head, there's the arms, there's the feet. Pareidolia is a wonderful thing, guys.
Yeah. I see the baby's eye. I see his mouth. I see his chin.
Right here. Mouth, eye, chin.
That little star, baby.
And yeah. And we need to have also Sprock Zarathustra play when we have this up. Right. Yep. Baby. Yeah. I did a color correction and you notice that the beautiful colors come out much better.
They do.
Here's all your star change, Daryl, see?
Oh, I know. I was looking at those earlier.
Yeah.
I'm seeing those dark lines in between them, too.
Mm-hmm.
Saw those in one of the images from earlier on. I didn't see anything.
Yeah. Beautiful. Well, so far this image looks like it's not bad. Our star images look good right here for a relatively windy night. Look at that beautiful pillar being eroded by a star out here somewhere, or possibly a set of stars. Possibly this cluster here. Possibly this one. Not bad at all. This is not bad.
Quite a little dark blob there, too.
Yeah, right here.
Globule, I suppose.
Yeah, so that's a... I don't know, Bach globules are round. This is a small feature, but I don't think it's a globule. The globules are the discrete gravitationally condensing masses of dust that might form a star and or planets with them. Hendrik says, question
of you.
Yeah, Mark, how much does our sun's gravity interact with other stars? Well, that question is actually pretty easy to answer, and that is that our sun's gravity doesn't really affect many other stars at all, if it does at all. The only stars it could possibly affect would be the Alpha Centauri system. But you could technically calculate a component of gravitational force that our sun provides and induces on the Alpha Centauri system. It's a non-zero number, let's put it that way, but it's very small. Keep in mind that our sun has a large cloud of objects around it, and the farthest objects are known as the Oort cloud, and those are a spherical cloud of icy bodies. They used to call it the realm of the comets, and that those objects would generally get dislodged or nudged by a passing star out in the interstellar space, and would end up coming into the inner solar system over time and making their way to us as comets that we might see. But in terms of how the sun holds these objects way out there, well, some work has been done recently to show that the Oort cloud, the extent to beyond our sun, goes out more than half the distance to Alpha Centauri. So it shows that it's possible that we might have a gravitational component, however small, not large enough to hold objects farther than, say, halfway or a little over, but we could calculate a non-zero effect on Alpha Centauri.
That would make me wonder if perhaps we share the Oort cloud with Alpha Centauri.
Well,
we've talked about this before.
We have.
Along the lines of it. You know, you'd think, you'd go halfway to Alpha Centauri and then it'd be Alpha Centauri's problem. But maybe it's common between them.
Yeah, I wonder actually if if you could ever figure out whether we share objects with Alpha Centauri system.
Yeah.
You know, like do large billion-year orbits, you know, between here and Alpha Centauri and back. You know?
Mm-hmm.
Look at this, guys. This is beautiful. This is 15 images stacked. And
can we zoom in on the baby's chin?
Yeah, we're actually doing it right now. This is the chin right here.
See some subtle blues in there, like reflection nebulosity.
Right here.
Little bits. Yeah.
Yep. Still have some noise in there. Let's see if we can get rid of the noise. I'm going to take us off this curve a little bit. See if we can drop the noise. Yeah, that drops the noise a little. So it shows a little better now. See that?
Yeah.
Really pretty. Look at the complexity of this here. This is a stunning nebula, no doubt about it. Oh, look, he's got a cowlick in his hair. I love it. This is one of my favorite nebulas. I can't tell you it's not. We have such dynamic range with this sensor in our camera. We can zoom in, you know, a massive amount. Okay, like for instance, right now. Okay. Let me just get to it. This is 100%. So this is the actual size of our sensor. This is the native image size of our sensor. So we can go out, you know, quite a ways to this side. There's a satellite that came through quite a ways to the other side and up and down. So if we actually were to say go back to like say 33%, right? That's the overall size of the nebula. Okay, you can see that I want to actually do a color correction here again.
Star baby.
And there we go. Now a little color correction makes the interstellar space black and makes the nebula more appropriately colored.
Little baby hands, little baby feet.
Yeah.
Foot,
There's
anyway.
the hand. There's the foot. Hedrick asks if we can talk about the distances between the stars and features in this nebula. Well, here's one of the problems, Hedrick. Some of these stars are up here in the foreground, okay? And some of these stars are farther out in the background. So we don't know, if my head is the nebula, we don't know how many stars are actually here in the foreground and beyond it in the background. So if you talk about the actual nebula itself, let's like look, say, at this right here. Knowing the distance to this nebula, which I think is about 7,000 something light years, I think that we could then calculate the length of this dark rift in the nebula. I know I can because I wrote a program to do it. If you know the measurement size, if you know the distance to the object, and you know the measurement size in the sky, then I can tell you how big it is in real life. For instance, we could calculate the size of this globule right here. All I have to do is bring the photo in to Photoshop and measure the size of it in arc minutes or arc seconds, and then the program will tell me how big that object is. This isn't the Bullwinkle. This isn't the Embryo Nebula, though. This is the Embryo Nebula is elsewhere. We actually looked at the Embryo Nebula.
I just commented on it.
I see that. Yeah.
Well, it looks like a baby.
The baby embryo. That's funny. It's the fried chicken embryo nebula.
There you go. Can we go a little farther to the upper left there where the baby's eye is? See those little dark tendrils of nebulosity all
Yeah, right
twisted
here.
up?
Right here.
Yeah,
Right here.
that's cool.
Those were eyelashes. Yeah, this image is really cooperating. It's really nice. We've done 26 of these stacked. I'm gonna stop because I'm pushing my luck. Okay, and let's come up here and give us the name here. All right. Now I give this name up here that you can barely read, but when I put this name in, that's the name of the directory as it'll appear on the database when you go up there. So you can actually see it. Okay, so now we'll save it. And then save it exactly as seen.
There is so much going on in that image.
Oh, there really is. Now we'll back out.
The eye area, and then over the top of his head, and
Yeah, over there's some kind of weird,
all
beautiful structures. Shaped undoubtedly by stellar winds and past supernovae. That's what shaped these things like this. Large interstellar clouds. Okay. Very cool. And look at these beautiful dark features. Nice. Beautiful.
Marc surprised me. Would you excuse me again for a moment, please?
Sure. I'm going to
Be right
clear
back.
this and head out to the next object up for bids here on The Price is Right.
Okay. Be right
Whatever
back.
object that's going to be. Okay. Okay. It won't be much of a surprise to Daryl, because I promised you guys the double cluster, so that's what we're going to do next. Okay, so. Okay, we're going to go to a 1/4 degree per second. And from here, we're going to go south a little bit. Oh, I have to give us back our night vision mode. There we are. Okay. As I said, since it's all nearby, we're just going to steer to it. Alright, so we go south. And then we're going to go to the west. By the way, thank you guys for coming out here tonight and hanging with us. We see so many things that we go by, you just want to stop and enjoy them all, right? I know. Me too. Okay, so just do a little more. There it is down there. Too far. Okay. And now we can go south and view it. Beautiful double cluster. Okay, now how nice. All right. Alrighty, double cluster. Researching. While we're doing that, I will write this one up. Okay, so this is the double cluster. Double cluster is a young pair of clusters. One of these clusters, I believe this one, is a little closer to us. This one here. and this one's a little farther away. So remember, it's all in 3D, so it's kind of like this, right? But line of sight makes them look like they're right next to each other. All right, let's do I'm gonna do a 20-second shot of this, because you have to see the different colors of the stars that are in this. You have the clusters, but then there's these red stars that are just beautiful in there. Okay, so let's come off of here, jump into our stack, and we can do it. I would take away the name for now because you know what it is. Hey, I missed. Take that away. Here we go. All right.
He's back.
You got it. You are. Gee, can you guess what it is?
Double cluster.
Yeah.
It always strikes me how the one on the left side has the red stars in it.
Yeah. Which again is a line of sight thing, not an actual, but still.
Yeah.
I think this cluster is
physically associated, are they?
Well, I was about to tell you that, and you know, I think this cluster, I believe, is actually a little closer to us, and this cluster is a little farther away. And they're actually quite far from each other, so I don't know that they're actually associated with each other. I don't know in the grand scheme of gravity. I don't know if they actually are or not. But this is beautiful, and it seems as if the wind has calmed down out there. Actually, look at this.
It does. Nice and
Not
round.
bad for a telescope having been taken completely apart and going back together and everything's working right. Not bad at all. Look at these beautiful red stars. Yeah, it's just beautiful.
Did they maintain the orientation of the camera relative to the body of the telescope?
Yeah, that's the same pretty much. It's almost the same. I'm going to make a slight change when I go out there. So I'm pulling this down, so now we're only seeing where this yellow line is. We're only seeing what's below this yellow line now. So all this data is not in there. And if I actually tell it to auto correct it, it'll show you it's very, very bright now. That's pretty. It's really pretty. We stacked 7. We'll go to 8 because this doesn't need that many. This is something else. That's a beautiful cluster. Such a beautiful cluster. Okay, and there's 8. We have our name, so we're going to save it. And then we'll save it exactly as seen. Remember, to get to any of these pictures, you can look at the links in the chat from Izabela, or you can go here to skytourlive.com, and as you scroll down, you'll see take me to the data to see the beautiful pictures, and it tells you how to get at the data there. And below that, you can actually go to get prints on canvas, metal, physical prints framed under glass, if this is something that you're interested in. So that's really a good thing. Look at that. I want to zoom in really far on this now. Look at that. This is really quite a good guide. Amazing. Very bright stars here. Cosmic ray. Greek astronomer Hipparchus cataloged the object as a patch of light in Perseus as early as 130 BCE, and that is correct. That's absolutely right. That's amazing to think that, you know, this could be seen. Hey, Taryn Marie, welcome. Nice to see you. You like our glittering jewel box of the double cluster? This is our double cluster. It's a young pair of clusters that are out there near each other, not really near each other, but line of sight wise near each other. There it is. Most beautiful cluster. Everybody remembers this one.
Oh yeah.
Indeed. Wow.
I still remember the first time I ever looked at it in a telescope.
Mm-hmm.
I got the telescope in the summertime, but when fall rolled around, well, this is one of the first things I saw.
Wow.
In autumn.
Wow. That's just beautiful.
Terra and Marie, it would be nice to think so.
Well, what'd she say? So most of these have planets orbiting, Terra and Marie says. Actually, the stars in this cluster probably... I'd have to say they probably don't have planets in the general sense, because this is a young, hot cluster. So I don't think that they're going to have as many planets there, Daryl.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. Like I said, it'd be nice, nice to think they do.
Yeah, no, that's true. That's true. But the thing is, there might be planets there, but the stars are so hot that when they form in a cluster like this, their radiation is so powerful that all the material to make planets, even if the planets were made, is going to evaporate the planets.
Oh, it would be nice to have that in the sky.
Yeah, that would be, geez, that would be beautiful.
Or, we said before, a nice globular cluster,
Yeah.
Those stars are close together.
What's the distance to the double cluster?
I don't know. Give me a minute.
Cosmic ray says 7,460 light years, and he might be right about that. And he also is right to say you need SPF 100 million or whatever to, actually survive there. Yeah, those stars are hot and young and blue, and they will be full of copious ultraviolet energy. And 7460, that'd be an average, because one cluster, I think the left one's closer to us than the right one, which is farther away, if I remember correctly. I mean, I know they're differently distanced. Yep. Yeah, 7460 and 7640 light years away from Earth. Yeah, so he's giving you the distance there. So one is, as he shows, one is, 200 light years further away, basically. And that is approximately correct. I think the left one is closer to us, as I said, than the right one. Beautiful. Really beautiful.
Maybe if there was a star safe enough to have planets right in the middle between the two of them, 100 miles away from either.
100 miles?
Have both of them in their sky. That would be nice.
Oh, yeah. You didn't mean 100 miles away.
Light years.
Yeah.
Sorry.
That's okay. Very good. Okay, so double cluster, all done for the night. That's a gorgeous cluster. So let's clear the stack here. It's been saved. It's up there. And now we'll go back to our original night vision mode here.
Okay, I take back. They form the core of the Perseus OB1 Association. So yeah, they're way too hot to tolerate any kind of life, I suppose, or planets for that matter. If they're O and B stars.
Hedrick says, can you help me figure something out? In December, is there a big, round, very bright star cluster in the sky? I saw it just with my eyes just once. You may be talking about the Pleiades. If you said in December, you might be talking about the Pleiades, which I don't know if we can see them yet. I'm going to go check it out and see if we can. Because if we can, we will. Alright, let me go back to this and get back to 1 second. And then do our night vision mode. There we go. Okay. Let us just see. And Michael Klages says Pleiades. It might be the Pleiades, as I said to Hedrick. Much smaller than that, he says. Well, it could be M35 in Gemini. Okay, let's see.
Did you see it naked eye?
It depends where you are. M35, I used to be able to see it with naked eye. It was visible. Alright, let's go back here.
Well, if it was round, it'd kind of make me wonder about a globular cluster, but I don't recall there being...
Yeah. Okay. I don't know if we're going to be able to see this or not. We can try it.
It was something starting with H. I told her about it that night.
Okay.
Starts with an H. Oh, high 80s?
Maybe.
High 80s don't look particularly round. High 80s are below the Pleiades. Star cluster about 170 light years away. It's a V shape, makes the head of the bull in Taurus.
Yep.
Mars sure is getting big and bright in the horns of the bull. And it's going to keep getting bigger and brighter than night by night here till December.
Yep. Okay, now we just have to run up north again here to grab it. And here we come. Pleiades. Wow. There's Alcyone. There is Merope. I think this is Atlas out here. And Pleione, I believe. Maya and Tegeta. Alright, let me just bring us over here. Here we go. You might notice when you look at this, even here with this 1 second exposure, you'll see there looks like a haze here. That's because you're seeing a illumination caused by these hot young stars scattering, getting their light scattered by the dust that this cluster of young stars just happens to be moving through. And these stars are not all there are to the Pleiades. Many of these other stars in the field are part of this whole cluster. These just happen to be the brightest members. They're not bigger necessarily, they're just brighter. So they look like bloated blobs. So let's pull down here a little. It's that time of year. Got the Pleiades again.
Oh, yeah.
And let's go and do this. By the way, for those listening, the telescope was reinstalled today by Marianne Robb and Tara Diulis. It was actually down in Tucson having its yearly overhaul, and they repaired the motherboard in the telescope that was not functional. Looks like we might have been struck by lightning out there, so we're going to go out there and fix that problem. We're going to set a ground spike in the ground and make it so that's much more attractive to lightning. Alright, 25 seconds we are guiding, and we're going. And this is the Pleiades. Now, I'm not sure if we'll be able to manage this with the wind, but we're going to find out. And when this comes back, the stars are going to be very bright, but you're going to see the blue reflection nebula around the stars. And it's just beautiful gossamer material. Look at that. Look at this. This is the Merope Nebula here. The Maya here. This is Maya with its arc. This arc is here. And there's material all throughout here. We'll let this develop a little more. There's a 1.21 gigawatts of electricity. Marty, come on. We gotta go back to the future. Ah, Doc, what happened, Doc? Do you know what this means? Okay, let's color balance this. That helps you offset the blue a little bit. You can see that better. Look at that. There's an awful lot of data in here. Let me show you if I can show you the data. You can see all this other stuff up here with this expanded view here, right? And there's another way to do that, which I'll show you. As Daryl says, Subaru means actually unity, and that's why the Subaru logo has these stars on it, because it's a symbol of unification and being all together. So that's what Subaru, I believe, means more unity.
Oh.
That's what I think. Yeah, we'll look it up. You'll see. It'll tell you what does Subaru mean, and it'll show you. Okay, so let's do this now. Let's bring in some extreme contrast, and now look what we got. Look at these stars now, huh? Look at all this stuff out here that's showing up. Isn't that crazy? These purple rings are artifacts. I get rid of those programmatically in Photoshop when I do the processing. Let's do this, see what else there is. Look at that. Adding a little detail here, check that out. Not bad.
I always like looking at Taurus as people are commenting. When we look up at Taurus this time of year, we see the Pleiades. They're 400 or so light years away. Then we see the Hyades down below them, and they're about 150, 170 light years away. I think they're the closest star closer to Earth. And then when we see Aldebaran, the Eye of the Bull, which appears to be in the Hyades, it's actually a foreground object. It's about 70 light years away. So if you look at those, you can kind of get a real feeling for the depth of the space there.
Yeah. It is a three-dimensional universe.
It is that.
Okay. That's beautiful. That is just really pretty. Process here again. Okay, and maybe try this again. Okay, so now you can see the details in here. You can see the details in the Merope Nebula. Okay, see those subtle details? Now watch as I come back and pull it back to actually brighten up the background a little. You can see more and more details showing up. Look at that. Look at all that material that's in here. So this is a bright cloud made bright by these stars. The cloud is scattering the blue light from the stars, not any other color, because the size of the dust grains is such that blue light is most easily absorbed and re-emitted immediately in all directions by these dust grains. That's called Rayleigh scattering. It's the same reason the sky is blue. All right, it's no accident that this is a blue light coming from this nebula. All right, dust in our atmosphere will actually absorb a lot more of the blue light, and that's why when it does that, you see red sunsets. Right, the molecules in the atmosphere will scatter the blue light in all directions, and thus you're not allowed to see it. It doesn't go in a straight line from the sun to you anymore, and thus you only end up seeing what's left, and that is everything but the blue light, and that makes the sun look redder on the horizon. Well, here we're seeing the same process, but with starlight. It's scattering the blue light in the same way. And this is the Pleiades for you folks. And we can stop it at 15 here.
I once saw a red rainbow. It was the very last rays of the setting sun.
Oh,
and
okay.
The only color in the rainbow was the red.
Wow. That's cool.
It's really cool.
Okay, Pleiades is paused, and we're going to save it as this. So we have saved it there.
You can see the Pleiades now. You should be able to see the California Nebula.
Yeah, that's why we're waiting.
Oh, okay.
We've been waiting, doing other things. Heart, Soul, Pleiades. So now we should be able to see the California Nebula and do that. Okay. So let's get rid of this stack here. Let's clear this first.
Daisy and the Cowboy, are you referring to the halos around the stars? Those are artifacts of the optics.
Oh, yeah, that might be... that's Mike and Daisy. Yeah, that might be what you're seeing, Mike. Okay. No, didn't want that. How about 1 second? There we go. Alright, 1 second, and night vision mode. Jing. There we go. Welcome to the world's, well, one of the most expensive night vision systems you could have, I guess. And Taryn Marie says, when are the comets coming? And then she says, I mean meteors. Yeah.
The
Well,
Orion's just peaked.
Right,
And
they just passed.
the next major shower will be the Geminids. I do believe. December?
I think so.
There was an interesting article at Space Weather a day or so ago. The predicted peak of the Orionids, they were saying overnight on the 20th to the 21st, and they noted from observer reports that they think the peak actually happened early, about 2 a.m. Universal time on the 22nd, which would have been late in the evening of the 21st here in the States. That would have been about 10 p.m. Eastern time or 8 p.m. where I am in Mountain Time. But, of course, Orion wasn't even up then for us. And expected meteor counts typically for the Orionids are like 10 to 20 an hour, and they actually logged 45 an hour.
Wow.
And I didn't see a single one.
I went out the other night with my night vision, the Aurora Sport, full color night vision, and they're only like $300. And when I went outside and looked up in the sky, I was looking at Orion, saying, I'm just going to look at Orion. And as I looked up at it with the Aurora Sport, I saw a beautiful Orionid go right through the field of view and kept on going. And I said, wow, well, you know what? That saved me all the trouble. It's kind of chilly out here. I walked back inside and said, I got to see an Orionid. Only one, but it was there. No. Okay, so let's get rid of this here. Okay, let me come over here for a second. And do this. Alright, now let's move up and center it in our view. That should be about right. Let's increase the gain just to see if I can see it. Oh yes, I can. There it is. And let's move it down a little bit. The California Nebula. Let's move it to the west. Okay. Beauteous. Okay. A little bit more. And then we'll go move north on it. Move it. Go north. Okay. Now, you want to see an amazing sight? Just hang on and wait for this one to come in. This one is spectacular.
Yeah. Now, this is the one I said earlier that looking at the Gamma Cass Nebula, the bright star Gamma Cassiopeia was what was lighting up the Gamma Cass Nebula. This one, the bright star we see down at the lower right, is being illuminated by the bright star at the lower right in our main view. Is,
speaking of
being lit up by that star.
Yeah, this is the field of view for our telescope, and see how the writing is right side up if you have to turn your head to the left. That's the orientation of the view. So where we have our telescope right now is centered on this guy right here. It's centered on this, right? That's where it is. So we put it there, and if we come into the view and look, well, there's our dark spot in the middle of the nebula that we were looking at before. I'm going to bring our value down again to just 250 or so. Okay. All right. So that's our That is our sensitivity. Okay, and yes, it's making it now, but I have to get rid of this and go into the stack. Right. Now, even though it was taking the photo, now, and I only then go into stacking, it reads the image off the sensor after it completes it. So I could come in right now and start stacking, and look what we get. Ah, look at that. That's the California Nebula, and this is the star that Daryl was just telling you about that's illuminating it. It's ionizing the hydrogen gas in this region of interstellar space. And you'll notice it's sort of a bowed area here. This could be because of these stellar winds from this star pushing the hydrogen gas along in space, out radially from this star. It's a possibility. And this is a brighter look at it. This is when we actually do a processing on it. And let's go back to look at our stack. And let's bring that out. And also color correct. Right now, we can do this. Look how bright that is. Look how beautiful that is.
Yeah.
Right. Let's color correct again. All right. That is amazing.
Bullwinkle, the Leonids back.
What did he ask?
Well, he didn't ask. He said the next meteor shower is Leonids in November, and he's right,
Okay.
of course. Most years it's not considered a major shower, but the last time the comet Temple-Tuttle came through and reseeded the area was 2000 or 2001. There were major showers several years in a row back then, late 90s, early 2000s. The one year there were thousands of meteors an hour.
Yeah, I got to see one of those.
And that was the second most spectacular thing I ever saw in the sky.
You got to see it?
Oh, yes.
Oh.
I didn't even leave town. All I had to do was walk out in my backyard and look up.
Wow. Hey, Desert Dweller, what's going on? Cosmic Ray says, how about the Connecticut Nebula? I don't know of a Connecticut Nebula.
Probably right next to the Rhode Island Nebula, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah. And the Massachusetts cluster. Well, I think that the wind has subsided. We've actually got a pretty nice set of guiding here. Look at this beautiful little arc of stars right here. You gotta wonder how that arc formed. What caused it to form? Was it a shock wave from a supernova? Was it just the stellar winds that happened to compress enough material along that they would form along a front? It's all possible. What time we got here? 1:52. That's about what I thought. Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to have to call it pretty soon here.
Yeah, this will be our object that we end on.
Okay.
Cosmic Ray says California Nebula was discovered by E.E. Barnard in 1884. That wasn't a hard find, I can tell you that. Especially considering that in 1884 we didn't have the kind of light pollution we have now. So with a moderate instrument you'd see it. Or even like binoculars.
I believe Barnard found it photographically.
Okay.
He was like a pioneer in astrophotography. That's how he found a lot of the dark objects that are named after him.
Yeah, this is a Barnard object right here.
Uh-huh.
So that's a Barnard was a catalog of dark nebula. And that, to me, okay, Barnard was after my own heart because I think this is where it's at. The dark nebula in the universe is where it's all happening. It's where stars form. It's where planets form around the stars. It's actually the place where everything happens. It's where you're going to find life at its earliest appearance. Wow. Yeah. James Dugan says it's like a giant squid. Yeah, it kind of does look like a giant squid, doesn't it? Because here's the eye and the cephalon, and then here's the tentacles right here. Pareidolia is wonderful. I have fun with that. Okay, so where are we? Okay, we did 15 of these. These are beautiful. Let's see if we can do something with this. Get rid of some of that noise there. That's good.
California Nebula is only about 1,000 light years from Earth.
Hence its size. The Orion Nebula is another 600 or so light years beyond that in distance.
And yeah, the star lighting it up is Psi Persei, also
This
known
guy.
as Menkib.
Mm-hmm.
It's an O7 star, prodigiously energetic.
O stars live only a few million years, folks. So that would tend to present a problem if you were thinking of setting your planet there, because the O stars have such strong stellar winds that they would blow away all the material. Their radiation would sterilize and push away all that material that could possibly become a planet around such a star. That's why we've never seen any planets around an O star. We've never seen many planets around B stars, but there have been some strange bedfellows, some planets that were around B stars, but they're certainly not habitable. It's around the type A because it goes O, B, A, F, G, K, M. And that A stars, that's about where we can start to see planets form in fairly high amounts. And then, of course, the Fs, the Gs, like our sun, Ks, and the M stars. The M stars are the ones that have the most planets around them in the entire universe. And they're also the most, well, populous of the stars. Are those tiny little percolators, as I call them, these M stars that are just percolating. Their surface temperatures are fairly low. They're red. If you were an alien that came from an M star, you'd probably have big eyes to be able to see dimmer light, because your planet would also be tidally locked, meaning that you'd have to be so close to the star to get enough heat to carry out life processes for creatures like us made of carbon, that you would have to be able to see in the dark as best you can. So your eyes would evolve to be very large. You might be on the dark side of that planet, and if it has a nice atmosphere, well then the bright solar light on a starlight on one side would actually translate to the other side via weather, but not as hot. So if you think about it, you could have a beach climate facing the star at all times, a beautiful sunset climate where the sun is always setting on the edge, and then the Terminator. And then when you go around the backside, you can watch the sky all night long, all year round. And that brings up another point. How long is a year on a star like that? Well, because they're so close to the star, they travel around the star in a much shorter time. We take 365 days. Mercury takes 88 days, and it's so close to the sun that its surface is able to melt lead. So, what is the typical orbital period for a star with planets that is an M-type star, these ultra-cool stars? Well, it could orbit in 3 days, 7 days, 12 days, on the outside 13 days. And stars that have the planets like this that orbit between, like, say 7 and 9, 6 and 8 days, okay? That's the year for a potential habitable planet around some of these stars. 6 to 8 days is the year. So if you're on the dark side looking at the sky, you're going to see the sky constantly moving across the sky, and the planet's not rotating. The planet is stuck. All right? But you'd see the sky translating and moving across, and you'd see the entire season in just a week. All the stars of summer, the stars of winter. Okay, if you even could understand what that was from that position. So that's pretty cool. Okay, we did 28 here. We're gonna stop here.
I want to hear an interesting little factoid about
yes,
Moonkib, or about the nebula. Let me find
please.
it again. I never knew this. By coincidence, the California Nebula transits in the zenith in central California as the latitude matches the declination of the object.
Wow. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Wow. Well, fantastic. Well, guys, I want to thank you. This is the SkyTour live stream comeback for tonight. I'm glad that you joined us, but it is time for us to get some sleep. We have to do it. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. I think they did, don't you think? I haven't heard any.
They did. I think they did.
I haven't heard any complaints. But do send give us a slam that thumbs up, please, and do your best to give us a wonderful thumbs up, because I think that we would definitely like to have you come back. So
Mark, thanks for having me on, and thanks for coming, everybody. I had fun. I hope you did.
All right, guys. Well, thank you, Daryl, and I will see you on the flip-flop next time around, maybe even tomorrow.
Sure.
So we'll see you guys, and that, you know what that music means. Time to go to bed. Hope you guys had a good time. Good night, everybody.
Good night, all.